Do it live. Welcome into the Rant, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pugs Moran. These are the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios here in the beautiful E Gallery in Dallas's Design District. It is a cold day here in North Texas, so I'm wearing my coat. I'm wearing a coat. I'm wearing layers. We have heat. It's just a cavernous studio, expansive studio spaces that we have here at Radio Misfits Dallas in the E Gallery. So I'm a little bit cold. A lot going on today. How are you? Did you have a good weekend? It's Monday. Cold. Can't stop it. Just can't stop talking about how it's cold. Cold for Dallas. What is it currently? Let's see. Cold for Dallas at 8:36 this morning when I was taking the dog out. It was 23 degrees. 23 degrees here in Dallas. It's currently 34, so it's not even freezing, but I know, Pugs, you grew up in the Midwest. You grew up in Blizzard Alley there in Chicago, in the Chicago suburbs. What happened? I don't know. I've spent so much time in Texas. It's like my blood thinned out. I can't handle cold anymore. I don't know when. Is it a part of getting older? Is that what this is all about? Hold on. How hot is my mic? My mic is hot as. All right, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on, gotta sneeze. Oh, this is going to be a problem, too, because I'm a domino sneezer. I'll sneeze 100 times now. This first one's going to come out. Hey, you know what, though? And we should celebrate this. Do you remember how I used to get hiccups all the time? And then when we moved to the Kelly Moore Memorial Studio, I stopped getting hiccups. I think, once again, to be fair, most of the weird stuff that has happened to me in the months since my partner Kelly Moore passed away, much of the things that have happened, I blamed on her. Like, she's fucking poltergeist, because she told me she was going to be a poltergeist. She told me she was going to fuck with me. And there's been all kinds of little shit that has just gone wrong. Again, she's not horrible and she loved me and I loved her, but it's not like things that are gonna like set me back or anything, but it's just like inconvenient shit. Like a cabinet door just popping off. Just you open it up and it just comes right off in your hand. You're like, what the hell? That's followed by a second and then a third cabinet door just coming off on their own. She's hiding the remote on me. She keeps hiding the remote. I put the remote in the same place every single day. She keeps, it's her or the dog. Somebody's hiding the remote. So my point is this. I blame her for all the bad things. I should give her credit for some of the good things as well. And I'm going to start looking for those good things. Hi, April. April's here. We've got Byron here. We got Peter. Barney, let me say hi to the full chat room. Who else we got? It's early goings here. I'm going to make an attempt in 2025 to start the show as close to 12 o'clock as possible. Mikey D is here. That's always good. Sports bras are here. Keep seeing. Let me see. Share the show, guys. That should be a new thing. Like we're all doing resolutions, right? Oh, God, let me tell you about my resolutions. So I'm being better today. Now, like this is like I started today. I know most people are like, no, you're supposed to start on New Year's. Now, what are you nuts? New Year's fell in the middle of the week. And there was a weekend in football, and you can't start. This is back to the grind. Today is the official start of the year. So I decided today I'm gonna start in my diet, which really just consists of me not eating nonstop bad processed food. I'm just going to start eating better food. That's all. I'm going to stop buying cheap. I mean, look, being broke sucks because when you shop for groceries at like Aldi and the Dollar Tree and shit like that, you're not going to get the most high quality stuff, but I can survive. I figured out how I can do it. So I'm going to start eating better. And here we go. Water. I'm going to start drinking water all day when the sun is out. If the sun is out, I'm drinking water. Now, I love my Coke Zero. Got to have my Coke Zero. But I think that's now being relegated to after sundown, just like weed or drinking, not during the day, unless it's a very special circumstance. So I'm drinking water now. And I've had like one sip in the last 4 hours. Because, I don't like water. I don't like water. Water is like wet air. That's all it is. It's That's what it tastes like. Water doesn't taste like anything. Do you know that this Friday coming up at the end of this week, it's famously known as Quitters Friday? Because it's the day that everybody quits on their resolutions, or at least most people. It's like, and this is a thing, I guess they came up with the health club organization, whatever the fitness trade organization is that puts out these things. But Quitters Friday is the day that the health club industry, are they still called health clubs? Gyms? What are they called now? That whole industry, it's when they notice that they're really crowded with everybody getting back in the gym on New Year's Day. And then it's the second Friday of January is known as Quitters Friday. So I thought about this. Why not just start? Don't even start until the Monday after Quitters Friday? That's solved problem. Now you're not working on anybody else's bad mojo. You know, Quitters Friday, people are like, well, I made it to Quitters Friday. No, don't even start until the Monday after. I mean, I'm not following my own rules because I'm starting today. But anyway, let's see here. April says she's got to do better about water consumption. She's having dehydration issues. Do you drink a lot of alcohol? I don't drink a lot of alcohol, and so for some reason I think that I don't need water. like if I was drinking, like if I had a drink every night, like maybe I'd be like, I need to drink water, because I have this idea, and I know nothing about biology, but I have this idea that it just dries out your organs the way it dries out your skin. You know, when they put like rubbing alcohol on your skin. So, because I'm stupid. Also, you want to hear another stupid observation that I had? I posted this on Twitter. It got zero response because nobody gives a shit about me on Twitter. So our daylight is from the sun, right? Okay. All right. Walk with me on this. I'm really stupid on stuff like this. So right now it's light outside because the sun is essentially shining a big spotlight on us, right? Yeah. So is all of the space between us and the sun also lit up the way it would be or is it dark? Like I always assumed that it was dark, like all of space is dark, but isn't it light like a million miles around where the sun is shining? I don't know. I've never seen a depiction of, you know, I don't know how that works because I'm stupid. So you guys stew on that and I'll explain to you what this show is. This is the Rant. We do it every day at noon. Me, Pugs Moran. I sit here and I rant on all the day's news. And let me tell you, we're going to have a fun one today. There are some days when there's shit that I'm just really into talking about. And we've got a couple of stories today that I am really into talking about. So we're going to get into all that. Hold on. I got to return. Hold on. I know this is terrible. This is a one-man band here. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. Where was I? I got a big day of meetings. Today is the first day we're all back to work. All right. So you're not going to answer the sunlight question for me. I didn't expect you people to know. I just want to know why. I have no idea. Well, I got a new follower on Blue Sky. That's what you can do for me. You can share, you can follow, you can spread the word about talk radio being done every day by somebody who doesn't want to play the real talk radio game. This is nonpartisan. I'm not going to say it's non-divisive, but it is definitely nonpartisan. I don't see the world in any particular political ideology or lens or whatever you want to call it. We're just normal people here who get together and we talk about everything that's happening. We got a chat room that I love, so please tell your friends, bring more friends. We should do more stuff. I should be more dialed in to doing more stuff. Like bring a friend week. Like we can't have a week where maybe just for one day, everybody brings a friend to the chat room. Maybe grow this bitch a little bit. I don't know. We've been doing it every day for 3 years, every day, Monday through Friday. I mean, we're a real talk radio show. More so than I'd say most talk radio shows, because we do like 3 hours, 4 hours some days. We do bulk radio with no interruptions, no commercials, no nothing. I'm doing more content than any of those people. Hey, Cumulus, pay me. But they won't, see, because they don't like that I refuse to carry water for their special interests. So, I sit here and I stream. The show plays out in 4 quarters. It is a stream of consciousness, which means it's just me blabbing. No stops, no breaks. Sometimes I got to take a pee. Sometimes the UPS or Amazon person requires a signature, so I have to go out and do that. But for the most part, it's just me. I start talking and I don't stop until we're done. The show plays out in 4 quarters. This is so that I can stay reined in. So I just don't go off on, 4 quarters. The first, we call it antecedently on this day. That's this day in history. That's easy. I go through a couple of things that happened on this day. We talk about them. We riff. We move on. Quarter 2 is birthdays. People who died on this, or people who were born on this day. You know what that is. Quarter 3, people who died on this day. That's the deads. And then quarter 4 is everything else. Hot topics, current events, all the stuff. Joy Taylor. Oh, God. Oh, you guys, I can't wait. I can't wait. I got some opinions on Joy Taylor and this whole FS1 sex scandal. Oh, today's the day I'd love to do talk radio, because it's also whacking day in the NFL. Today's the day when all the head coaches who are teetering are getting fired. We've already had a couple of those, so we'll talk about that. What else do we have? Well, we've got a whole bunch of stuff. All of that will be covered in quarter 4. All right, first, here's what we got to do. I got to post this. I hate doing this, but here we go. It's that time. It is a pledge week. What is a pledge week? Well, here, read that. Read that. This show has no sponsors. This show, as I say, been doing it every day for 3 years. You people tip the show. When it's something that you like, when it's something that, hey, I kind of like this show, or hey, I like that opinion, or hey, that was kind of funny, whatever the case may be. You tip the show. You keep us in business. You've been doing it for 3 years, and every month we have 1 week. We call it Pledge Week, where we really just need to make a specific amount of money. We need to earn $50 a show this week. That's not a lot. $250 to keep this thing going into a 4th year. If you can help out, drop a little something in the Cash App, drop a little something in the Venmo. And here's the deal. I recognize this is the worst month of the year. This is the month that we never meet the goal. This is the month where we come close. We always come close. You people are amazing in that regard. This is the month where people obviously have, other things that they're now paying for that they typically don't pay for. January, life of credit, baby. Had a lot of fun over the Christmas season. So I get that. So a lot of the regular people that we rely on maybe won't be able to help out. This is an opportunity for you, kind sir and lovely madam. If you are somebody who hangs out on this show, and maybe you do have a little extra money, I know we got people out there who are better off than others. If you can pick up the slack and are willing to at least drop a little something this month to get us to our goal, that would be magnificent. Let's give the Fabulous 15 a break this month. Although, not until we get to the number. Anyway, help us out if you can. I'm not going to, as I get more desperate in the week, we'll talk more about it. But yeah, that's where we stand right now. $250 a show every day for the next 5 days. And then we'll happily pay our bills a week late, as we always do. Oh, man, are you guys seriously? Hey, did you watch the Golden Globes last night? We're going to talk about that as well. We're going to play some clips. I got some thoughts on Nikki Glazer. Nikki Glazer, the comedian. I got some thoughts. People have opinions. Well, I've got one too, and I'll share that. We'll talk about the Golden Globes. We'll go through that. What we'll do is we'll go through. No, I'm not going to tell you. I was like, should I tell him something and peek there? No, I'm not going to do it. But we'll get into a whole breakdown. I got opinions on Nikki Glazer. I got opinions on Fox Sports. I got opinions on Canada. Oh, Canada. That's other big news today. But let's get started. Here we go. It is as we say. It is the Rant with me, Pugs Moran, live from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios in the beautiful E Gallery in Dallas's Design District. This is said Rant for the 6th day of January, year of our Lord, 2025. Did you know? January 6th is the 6th day of the year. 360 remain until the end of the year. Let's get started with quarter one. We call it Antecedently on this day. It's a look back at history and all of that good stuff. Every other radio show or talk show does some version of this. I call it Antecedently because I'm pretentious. All right, let's get started. Antecedently on this day, 1907, Maria Montessori opens her first school and daycare center for working class children in Rome, Italy. Montessori schools. Isn't that weird? It was started out Maria Montessori, a PhD, and she was also, what else was she? She was whatever. She invented the whole Montessori style of education, which was created initially in Rome because working class kids were not getting the kind of education that benefited them. They were getting basically not the kind of education that you needed if you were going to be working in the fields or working in the mines or, stuff like that. So Montessori was designed for working class kids so that they could develop and grow and learn in the areas that either one, as it's been bastardized today, things they're interested in, or more to the case back then, things that they were pretty much relegated to having to be good at later in life. Montessori went from being something to prepare working class kids for a life of labor to being one of the most affluent and elite forms of private pre-K education there is. Or actually, isn't Montessori, don't some go through first, second, third grade? I don't even know. Anyway, there you have it. It was on this day. Montessori, the Montessori method, as it's known in education circles, on this day in 1907. On this day in 1912, New Mexico is admitted as the 47th U.S. state. New Mexico, welcome to the party. All right, quick thoughts on New Mexico. Spent a month there one night. Hello, look at me. It was Albuquerque. I saw a cockroach in my hotel room, and by the way, it was a nice hotel room. Was not a shitty hotel room. Saw a cockroach in my hotel room that I swear was using turn signals. That's how big it was. There you go. That's my take on New Mexico. Gigantic bugs, giant desert animal bugs. Welcome to the party. On this day, 1912, we allowed a state filled with gigantic car-sized bugs into our union. On this day in 1950, the United Kingdom recognizes the People's Republic of China. The Republic of China severs diplomatic relations with the UK in response. Oh, God, here we go. Here we go. Part of the reason that I think Americans don't really give a shit about what's going on in Taiwan and the South China Sea and all this shit. I mean, we know it's important, but I think it's just all too confusing to us. For instance, I'll give you a reason why. The Republic of China is Taiwan. That's Taiwan. The Republic of, they don't call themselves Taiwan. They call themselves the Republic of China. Okay? The People's Republic of China is actual China, the China that we know, the communist China. That's the People's Republic of China. The Republic of China is Taiwan, but we all call it Taiwan. And the flag, what flags can fly where? It's all very, very fragile. Like the People's Republic of China flag is banned in the Republic of China, and the Republic of China flag is banned in the People's Republic of China. It's all very confusing, and we don't care. We're not going to spend that amount of time trying to learn about the situation going on over there. All right, on this day, 1950, the United Kingdom basically recognized communist China, and Taiwan got really upset. 1950, on this day in 1960, maybe change your name, Taiwan. Just go with Taiwan. What? Are you China? Why are you calling yourself the Republic of China? You're like an island, right? What is Taiwan? I don't know what Taiwan is now. It's all coming to me now. I have no idea what Taiwan is. What is it? A peninsula? What is it an island? I think it's an island. Like if I had to draw the map, God, that'd be fun. Wouldn't that be fun? Just get like a dude off the street and give him a white wall and a marker and say, draw the world. That's fun. We should do that. All right. Anyway, on this day, 1950, the United Kingdom caused all kinds of problems by recognizing the People's Republic of China, and that made the Republic. I don't care. Antecedently on this day, okay, guys, here we go. I wanted to run through these. Early on in the show, year one of the show, when we would do the antecedently a segment, which we're doing right now, I used to do plane crashes because I was always like, oh my God, plane crash. Oh my God, plane crash. And then it got to a point where there were so many plane crashes every day, I didn't want to fly anymore. I was like, this is having a real negative effect on my own. So I stopped doing plane crashes. And we were joking about, we would make a list, like maybe a book that I could sell in airports that just compiles all the plane crashes and what are the best days to fly. Like what day? Because every day of the year, there's like at least one or two plane crashes that have occurred between like 1950 in the year 2000. So anyway, I stopped doing plane crashes. I skip over them, right? Today, we got to do plane crashes. Today is don't fly. If you know somebody who's flying, I'm telling you, today is not a good day. On this day, 1960, National Airlines Flight 2511 is destroyed in midair while en route from New York City to Miami. On this day in 1968, Aeroflot Flight 1668 crashes near Olomouc. On this day in 1969, Allegheny Airlines Flight 737 crashes in Lafayette Township, McLean, Virginia. On this day in 1974, Aeroflot Flight H-75 crashes near Mukabjevglev. On this day in 1993, 4 people are killed when Lufthansa CityLine Flight 4653 crashes on approach to Charles de Gaulle Airport in France. Don't fly today! That's way too many plane crashes on this day. Does it have to do with the weather? Because it's winter? Like, you notice none of these plane crashes occurred like in Australia. Let me see here. The first one was New York to Miami in 60. Second one was like in Minsk. Okay. January in Minsk. I'm guessing, icing could be a cause in 1968. 1969, Allegheny Airlines crashed in Pennsylvania. Yeah, 1969, January in Pennsylvania. 1974, Aeroflot, okay, Russia. Again, January in Russia. 1993, Lufthansa. I don't know what Paris is like. What is Paris like in January? Maybe that one was just the outlier. I don't know. Anyway, don't fly today. January 6th, the fucked up day for flying, people. Jeez Louise. All right, let's see here. Antecedently on this day in 94, Nancy Kerrigan is attacked and injured by an assailant hired by her rival, Tonya Harding. Okay, so this Tonya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan. Why? Oh, God. Can I just say something about Nancy? Look, this whole situation was crazy. One figure skater hired dudes with bats to beat up the best figure skater so that the first figure skater might progress in the Olympic team tournament or whatever. That's what happened. Tonya Harding wasn't as good as Nancy Kerrigan. And it was, if you remember, Nancy Kerrigan was like, she was like a princess. She came from a perfect family and she was perfect and all of this. And then you had like, Tonya, who was like chain smoking cools back by the women's bathroom. Tonya came from trailer trash, but she was good. She was like this. Tonya, look, here's the thing that shouldn't be lost on people. Tonya Harding was really good. Tonya Harding was really good. And she may have been as good as Nancy Kerrigan. She may have been, who knows, but she didn't come from the same sort of pedigree that Nancy Kerrigan and some of the others did. So she was an outsider. And if you think that there isn't like an upper, if you don't think national women's figure skating is cliquey, I mean, come on, man, everything is cliquey. You don't think those people power corrupts. So all I'm saying is Tanya Harding probably was feeling a bit marginalized and all that, and maybe like she didn't have a fair shake, and that the only way that she could assure that she would be on the Olympic team was if Nancy Kerrigan was out of the running. So she had Shane Stant, right? Wasn't that his name? Remember her husband, Jeff Gillooly? And then they released a sex tape. Oh, it was just all so gross. I would, of course, famously myself get into a scuffle with Tanya Harding. Of course, she took her headphones off and threw them at me. She was awful. She was awful, Tanya Harding. Anyway, whatever. What are you going to do? Oh, here's the other thing. Here's what I'm going to leave you with. Nancy Kerrigan wasn't that hot. I remember this. I had this take on the radio back then in Chicago. People were like, man, she's hot. I'm like, no, she's not. She's not hot. She's attractive. She's got a horse face. Nancy Kerrigan had a big giant, like she wasn't hot. You know who was hot? You want to talk about hot figure skaters. You guys remember Katarina Witt? Yeah. The Russians had hot figure skaters. I think it was a part of their process. I think they were like, yeah, she's good, but she's not hot, which totally would have screwed over Tanya Harding over there. But anyway, we'll move on. Yeah, Tanya Harding would have never made the team in Russia. She wasn't hot enough. She wasn't. Although, wait a second. I don't think that Oksana Bayul chick was all that hot. So this whole theory of mine might be bullshit, like most of the other things you'll hear on this rant. On this day, 1994, the attack on Nancy Kerrigan occurs. On this day in 2021, something happened at the Capitol, but I don't know. You guys could probably find some coverage of that somewhere else. Let's move on to birthdays. Birthdays. These are the people who were born on this day. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to decide whether or not they deserve a happy birthday, or we'll tell them to go kick rocks. First of all, born on this day, I'll never miss an opportunity to talk about this piece of historical lunacy. Oh, my God. Born on this day in the year 1412. Yeah, we're going deep. Ladies and gentlemen, Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc was born on this day. A crazy, angsty teenage girl. Patron saint of France. She's like everywhere you go in France. I've never been. I won't go to France. I don't have a problem with France. I mean, I'm a great defender of France and all that they did in World War II and Napoleon and all. I don't want to go there. I don't need to go there. First of all, the language is going to be a problem. Second of all, I don't think I could, get out of there alive because I would just start talking shit about Joan of Arc because she doesn't deserve this historical place that here's what Joan of Arc was. Joan of Arc was a crazy teenage girl. Crazy. And she just so happened to cross paths. She was a peasant girl. And she just so happened to cross paths with a bishop, a high-ranking bishop who was on his way to meeting King Charles VII. Now, it just so happens that this girl, 16-year-old girl, Joan of Arc, who was, as I say, she runs into this bishop while he's traveling. And it just so happens the bishop is also. And she tells him, they're like, Mary is coming to me and I see these visions and this is what you must tell the king. This is a peasant girl, a crazy peasant girl who's hallucinating shit. So the bishop goes to the king and he's like, hey, I met this chick. Here's what she says. And the king is so desperate at this point because we're in the middle of the 100 Years' War, 100 years of this bullshit. So the king's like, all right, bring her to me. So they bring him Joan of Arc and he's like, yeah, you seem kind of confident. So he sends her with his, with the banners and all that. He sends her to the siege of Lorraine, I think it was, where the Brits, the English days earlier, had basically all left. They were like, the siege was going on, and the Brits were like, yeah, we're gone. And it just so coincided their exit with the arrival of Joan of Arc, and so everybody thought this was a big propaganda thing, so they spread it throughout the countryside that we've got this miracle girl blessed from God who's leading our troops. Yeah, they caught her on the next battle, the very first battle where it was mano a mano. Her crew got slaughtered and she got captured by the Burgundies and they put her on trial. She was a crazy person. Her great battle at the Siege of Lorraine, was it the Siege of Lorraine? I'm not sure it was that one. Her great battle at the siege, though, was a complete coincidence that the people she was battling left just before she got there. And so she got credit as having chased them off when that was all happened. Joan of Arc, born on this day in 1412. One of the primary reasons I can't go to France. Born on this day in 1912, 500 years later. All right, we're going to talk about this. Ladies and gentlemen, American icon Danny Thomas. Danny Thomas, born on this day in 1912, American actor, comedian, producer, humanitarian. Humanitarian of the highest order. Danny Thomas gave away almost all his money to some Danny Thomas. Is it Shriners? No, it's not Shriners. I don't know what it is. Whatever that hospital is in Memphis that takes care of like sick kids, you know, whatever it is. I don't know. Whatever. Danny Thomas, humanitarian. Made life a lot easier for a lot of kids and their families who are going through some horrible things. Danny Thomas didn't die with a whole big pile of money. Willed it all to them. Danny Thomas, tremendous humanitarian. Danny Thomas also paid prostitutes to poop on glass top tables so that he could lay underneath it and watch. That was also Danny Thomas. That was also Danny Thomas. What have we learned here, people? Folks are complicated. People have a lot of different love. Yeah. You think I'm lying? All right. So back in the day, there was this, like, you may have heard it mentioned, eggs Danny Thomas style is what it's called. And it's a sexual fetish. And it's a very weird sexual fetish. And it's the sexual fetish that I just described to you. The paying of a prostitute to perform a disgusting act. An act we all do once a day if we're regular. Perform that act on a glass coffee table while he would lay underneath it and watch it happen. Eggs Danny Thomas style. I suggest you Google it. Happy birthday, Danny Thomas. Made a lot of sick kids. Journey to whatever's next a lot easier. Also like to pay prostitutes to poop on glass tables. People are complicated. Separate the art from the artist. That's what I always say. All right, on this day, born in 1938, one of my favorite people. Oh my God, I love this guy. This guy's awesome. He wrote my favorite song of all time. This is my number one favorite song of all time. And I'm going to make you watch it because you might not know it. Maybe you do. I'm going to tell you the backstory on this song. I don't know, about 6 or 7 years ago. It was like in the early days of Twitter. This clip circulated. It went viral. And I love it. It's like my second favorite clip viral clip of all time. First one being the one with the puppet show where they're like, we're all men, we're just normal men or whatever. That's my favorite one of all time. But my second favorite one was this Adrian Celentano clip. Adrian Celentano is an Italian musician. Adrian Celentano is they consider him like the father of Italian rock and roll. And, you know, he was around the 50s and 60s and all of that. Adrian Celentano, as I say, very big over there, very big in Europe, has sold over 150 million records. Okay, so before you're like, what? 150 million records. That's like more than Bon Jovi, okay? So the dude has sold records. He's a big star. In the 1960s, the British invasion, it also hit Italy. And he was an Italian music singer. He sang in Italian. And he sang rock and roll. And as I say, he was like the Italian Elvis. And he sang in Italian. But all of a sudden, he started getting knocked off the charts by all of these English language groups who were having hit songs in Italy. These people were enjoying music that they couldn't understand the lyrics to. And this really bothered Adriano Celentano. He was angered by it. He was like, you don't even know what you're listening to. So he said that anybody in this era of English-speaking rock and roll can have a hit record. So what he did was he went in the studio and he wrote a song. And it was all gibberish. All the lyrics are made up, right? And he released it on the charts because his argument was the Italian rock and roll audiences that are buying records will buy this with the same. Why? Because English music, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles sound like gibberish to the Italian ear. So he wrote a song that went on to be my favorite song of all time. It's called Prison Colon and Cuso. That is a made-up word, and the reason it's my favorite song of all time is because about 5 years ago, I offered my son, who was 10 years old at the time, $50 if he could memorize and then perform this song for me, and he did it. And to this day, my 15-year-old son and I, we love this song. Check it out. My favorite song of all time. Again, it's all gibberish. It's not a foreign language.
You're
the cold maze, say one prison calling and choose all. All right.
So I want to tell you that the first time, that's him. That's Adriano Celentano. This is from the late 60s, or I guess 1973. It says it right there. When I first saw this, I thought this guy was Sacha Baron Cohen. I thought the viral video was Sacha Baron Cohen doing something kooky again. But no, then I learned it's a real guy.
When I stay in the shoes now, I'll hold the scene in a whole red maybe get the corner boss dying.
Look at this guy.
Somebody begin to call, baby, stay yet with Joe. When I stay in the shoes now, I'll hold the scene in a whole red maybe get the corner boss dying. But it's a shame I should have called me Steen.
Okay, here's what I'll say. It's an offbeat groove, but it's a great groove once you get into it. Once you find, it's hard to slide into this groove because it's off time and it's a bit intrusive. Whereas some of the instruments are a bit intrusive, but if you get, it's a great groove.
Never time, never judge a God, baby, this jam. You the cover not choose, not right, but not sure. Hope this again, not the cover, no fine. Oh, but never sustain, like the shoes of my man. You would trust me, the man's called to raid the girls.
All right, we're about to meet his wife. His wife is all, they're like a power couple in Italian music. His wife is about to stand up and sing like one line.
Oh, something.
Ai, 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 César, ele é só prova e pisa. Ai, you the cold maze, say one prison calling and choose all. All right.
They applaud for her. They're like, ah, the wife. He's letting the wife sing. They applaud. This guy rules. I don't know what is up with Adrian Celestano. Anyway, that's Prison Colon Ensign Cuso. I do want to show you one thing. If you think that he was just a flash in the pan, this is from a couple of years ago. Okay, this is like Italian or Euro music celebration. I don't know what it is. But here you go. There he is. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Adriano Celentano celebrating a birthday today, born on this day in 1938 and still alive. Born on this day in 1953. How about Malcolm Young, Scottish-Australian singer, songwriter, guitarist, and producer, AC/DC Malcolm Young. Born on this day in 1953. Born on this day in 1955. How about Mr. Bean? Huh? Rowan Atkinson. Born on this day in 1955. Born on this day in 1964. Dallas Cowboy legend. I dated a girl briefly who had previously dated this person. And, there's certain, if you're a dude, like there's certain people you don't want to follow, It's like you don't want to be also another guy that was, anyway, happy birthday. Dallas Cowboy legend, Charles Haley. Charles Haley. Yeah, you don't want to sexually follow Charles Haley. And I didn't directly follow him. There was probably, a good 10 years in between. But still, you don't want to sexually follow a Charles Haley. Born on this day in 1964. Born on this day in 1968. The great and not to be forgotten John Singleton. Boys in the Hood. I like Singleton. Born on this day in 1969, Norman Reedus. Who's that, Pugs? Boondock Saints, of course, but also Daryl. Daryl from Walking Dead. Right, Daryl? Daryl from Walking Dead. Norman Reedus, born on this day in 1969. That is an ugly man. You women are nuts. You women are insane. He was a Calvin Klein underwear model. This dude looks like he went through like a car wash where they replaced the brushes with hatchets. Norman Reedus is a sex. I got to look at this. All right, you women, hold on. Let me pull this up. Let's see. Again, is this like Pete Davidson? These other guys that you women turn into hot dudes who I look at and I'm like, look, I get George Clooney, I get Brad Pitt, I get Leonardo DiCaprio. Here's what I don't get. I don't get this guy. I don't get Norman Reedus, born on this day in 19... Wait, is this right? Yeah, I think that's right. Look at him. That is not a handsome man. That is not a handsome man. His hair is always greasy. He just looks... Ugh, he looks dirty. He looks like a homeless guy that you fished out of the park and then went, we've got a morning show here in Dayton. We're going to turn a homeless man from not to hot. I mean, but even if they did that, they'd wash his fucking hair. Ugh. Okay. All right. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, yeah, I can see how that might be an attractive man. What the fuck is that now? What is this going on here? You women suck. Seriously? I'm walking around my whole life going, I'm ugly and unattractive to women. And then a guy like that, well, he's not fat. He's not fat. That's what it is. Let's be honest, women. That's really the rule. If you're going to be broke ass or normal, you can't be fat. You can be fat if you're going to be super rich. That's like, if you're going to be like wealthy, then women are like, yeah, I don't care. A couple extra pounds. All right, let's keep going here. Norman Reedus, born on this day in 1969. Born on this day in 1984, one of the most overrated personalities, one of the most overrated characters, and somebody who I've always said, yeah, overrated, little overrated. And now, when it comes to her place in Saturday Night Live history, but now we're like years after she's left, and she ain't a big star. Nope, sorry. All you people are like, she's too big for that. No, sorry. Doesn't really do it. Funny. Yeah, she's funny. She's not great. Happy birthday. Born on this day in 1984, Kate McKinnon. Not great. You people like when you people are doing the same thing with Bowen Yang. And I'm like, what? Really? You guys have made Bowen Yang into like a superstar, like he's the most known person on Saturday Night Live. You're doing it again. You're doing it again. You did it with Kate McKinnon, and now you're doing it with Bowen Yang. Stop it. Everybody knows the most valuable person on Saturday Night Live is, without question, Michael Che. Michael Che brings the edge. Born on this day in 1984, Kate McKinnon. Born on this day in 1994. And just with every passing day, with every passing quote, with every passing little video clip that I see of this guy, it might be quickly becoming one of my favorite professional athletes of all time. Born on this day in 1994, the absolutely lovely Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is like, are those angel wings that he is such a nice, good-natured friend. I mean, this all started years ago. I mean, remember when he was in New Orleans, there like a viral video went around because Jameis Winston was driving down the street and he saw some kid throwing a little kid throwing a football up in the air. So he pulls his car over and the mom runs out with a camera. I mean, I don't know if that was real or faked or whatever. At the time, people were like, this is why people love Jameis. And then other people were like, that's totally staged. Dude, I don't know. I don't, Russell Wilson is the type that might stage something like that. But I think Jameis Winston is just a really good, big, happy kid. I just think that's what Jameis Winston is. I root for him. I really do. Jameis Winston, born on this day in 1994, American football player, currently with the Cleveland Browns. All right, let's do some deads. Quarter three. These are the people who've died. These are the people who've died. Folks who've passed away on this day, we like to open up their life's resume and decide whether or not they went to heaven or banished to the hellfires below. How are we doing on deads today? Let me see. Oh, boy, excuse me. It was a belch. I shouldn't have done that. Dead on this day. Here's one of local note. Dead on this day in 2013, Ruth Carter Stevenson. Ruth Carter Stevenson is, of course, the daughter of Amon Carter, who is, of course, founder of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, big media mogul here in North Texas. Ruth Carter Stevenson, she used all of her money to accumulate one of the largest art collections, private art collections in the world. And now we can see her art collection in the Amon Carter Museum of American Art. She's going to hell. If you have accumulated enough art through your personal that you can fill a world-class museum like the Amon Carter Museum of Art, you're not spending your money right, bitch. I'm sorry. Really? Art? Talk about the stupidest thing that you can spend wealth on. That is the, I say from the e-gallery. I should probably. All I'm saying is this. You don't go to heaven because you had so much money that you were able to accumulate one of the world's great art collections. You and Saddam Hussein and Hitler. Yeah, Hitler. At the time that the Nazi regime fell, Hitler was the world's largest and had the most valuable art collection in the world. It was all stolen. Like he owned the Sphinx. Like it's part of my, I can't do a German accent. Sphinx was part of his personal. The pyramids were a part of Hitler's personal. Anyway, all I'm saying is this. Nobody who accumulates that kind of an art collection is ever a good person. Ever. Dead on this day in 2013. Ruth Carter Stevenson. Dead on this day in 2022. Peter Bogdanovich, film director, American actor. He was also an actor. He did a bunch of movies. He had Last Picture Show, I think, Texasville, right? I think some other movies too. I'm trying to think of what else did he do. Not Star 80. Star 80 was about him. Whatever the movie was that starred his girlfriend, Playmate of the Year, Dorothy Stratton, where They All Laughed. That's what it's called. They All Laughed is the name of that movie. Peter Bogdanovich would also play Dr. Melfi's psychiatrist in The Sopranos. If you're a fan of The Sopranos, you remember Dr. Melfi, Lorraine Bracco, would occasionally get so spun up talking to Tony Soprano that she had to go talk to her own therapist. And that was, of course, played by Elliot. Or that was his name. His name was Dr. Elliot. He was Peter Bogdanovich. Peter Bogdanovich, I mentioned that he had a relationship with a lot of beautiful women. Peter Bogdanovich also began his career, interestingly enough, as the personal assistant to, are you ready for this? Orson Welles, which probably wasn't an easy job in the late 1960s. Peter Bogdanovich would also have the relationship with, who I said, Playmate of the Year, Dorothy Stratton. Dorothy Stratton was discovered by Hugh Hefner Dorothy Stratton became Playboy's Playmate of the Year, and they decided to make her into a movie star. So Peter Bogdanovich cast her in the film They All Laughed. And while they were filming it, Dorothy Stratton's boyfriend, Paul Schrader? No, that's the director. Paul killed her. They made the movie Star 80. I don't know if you've ever seen Star 80, starring Mariel Hemingway and Eric Roberts. But man, oh man, Peter Bogdanovich, film director from the crazy 1970s, absolutely went to hell. Dead on this day in 2022, Sidney Poitier, Bahamian actor, director, diplomat, great humanitarian, a dude who basically put his A-list career on hold for a great part of the 1970s, 80s, so that he could concentrate on, using his stardom to actually enact change in different parts of the world. Sidney Poitier's in heaven. He was a good person. He was a very good person. All right, there you have it. That's the first 3/4 of today's show. We've gotten through the birthdays and the antecedently and the deads. Now's the time that I remind you one more time. Please take a look at down there. It is Pledge Week here on the show, so if you can help out, that would be great. Certainly appreciate it. You can support this show anytime. I'll put the Venmo and the Cash App right there. Those are the preferred methods. Those in giant bags of cash left out in front of the Kelly Moore Memorial Studio. Hold on, I need a drink of water because I'm drinking water now because this is going to be a thing in 2025. All right, what's going on in the chat room? What are you people talking about? It looks like you might be talking about something I want to get into. Let's see here. Sarah, who we talk? Oh, you're talking about Sarah. Hold on, let me see. A lot of people actually think or I guess a lot of wives think that Norman Reedus is hot. All right, Rob Barr asks, what's your thoughts on Heidi Gardner, one of the all-time greats? Heidi Gardner is incredible. Heidi Gardner, you needed, when we lost Kristen Wiig, we needed somebody to be that kind of, and we got Heidi Gardner. And she's not exactly like Kristen Wiig. She's great in her own ways, right? So it's not like she's copying it. But oh my God, yeah, there was a vacuum created, a void, if you will, created when Kristen Wiig left, and it was filled by Heidi Gardner. I love Heidi Gardner. Peter says, I like Sarah Sherman. I have not made up my mind on Sarah Sherman yet. I don't know about Sarah Sherman. Here's why. I was familiar with Sarah Sherman before she joined Saturday Night Live, and I thought she was absolutely repulsive. Sarah Sherman is a very well-known underground body horror comedian. This is a style of comedy that exists. It's big in Chicago, which is surprisingly enough where she came from. But it's body horror, gross out, whatever it is. But it is humor. It is comedians whose content almost completely revolve on the disgusting things the human body does or problems. Well, I mean, you see it in her stuff. All the stuff that Sarah Sherman is involved in has like warts or pimples or, that's her. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. She seems likable. She does, but I don't know. I don't know yet. Give me a couple of more episodes before I make my mind up about her. Let's see. What other women's? I love Ego Woden. I love her. She has quietly been doing all the heavy lifting for women of color, for sure, but also just, minority women in general on that show. She was brought on, Ego Woden was brought on at the same time as that Leslie chick. I forgot her name. And I remember thinking, This Leslie chick is awful. And once again, you people made her like the biggest star. And where is she now? Nowhere. Because she's a one-trick pony. She's funny as the character that she is. And I wish her a great career being a stand-up comedian and all of that stuff. But if we're trying to find the next Bill Murray, if we're trying to find the next Eddie Murphy, if we're trying to find the next... Give me a woman who was successful after Saturday Night Live. Christian Wig, right? Okay, don't give me that. Ego Wotum is great. Ego Wotum, from the very beginning, man, the first thing I saw her do where she made me laugh was her Dionne Warwick. I think it was like her first season where she first started doing this Dionne Warwick character. And just the way Dionne Warwick is such a take no shit bitch. It's just really funny. I don't know. I love her. I like Ego Wotum. I think she's funny. What other chicks do we have? Oh, my son. My son loves this new girl that they added this year. She's not even in the regular cast. She's just a featured player, but she shows up on the Weekend Update and she does songs. She like plays songs with a little Casio, and she's kind of like one of these. Well, she's a modern girl, or excuse me, she's a modern human where you're like, okay, is she like one of these gender fluid? I don't know. She's not very feminine. She's not very, whatever she is, she's funny as hell. And so me and my son like her, but I don't even know her name yet. He says she's really big on TikTok. He like knew her from TikTok before he saw her on Saturday Night Live. So let's see here. Leslie Jones is who I'm looking for. Leslie Jones is the one who I think is a little overrated. All right, that's enough. Let's get into all the topics that we got to talk about today. Quarter four. Let's run through this here. First of all, Congress is going to be certifying the election, okay? I don't think we're going to have a situation like last time, so let's move on from that. Congress certifies today. Number two, it's cold. It's cold. Millions along the mid-Atlantic and throughout the plain states of this here United States are dealing with any number of weather-related issues, from extreme cold to inches upon inches of snow, snarling travel, wrecking airports. Oh my God, it's cold. Folks, it's January in the United States. Here we are in Texas as we wake up this morning. And as I said, what was it? 32 degrees? Let me see. 34 degrees, 33 degrees. What was it last time I checked? Okay, let's see. The sun has been out now for a while. It was 34 at 12:07. It is now, it's 1:03. It is, come on. For crying out loud. Spitting. It's not that important. 36. It is 36, so the temperature has gone up 2 degrees in the last half hour. That's good. 36 degrees is not cold. And yet I'm like, God, it's so cold outside here in North Dallas. What is this bullshit that I am hearing about a blizzard that is bearing down? Now, look, don't misinformation. Don't misinformation me. I'm not giving out any misinformation. I hang out on Twitter. I'm just simply talking about what you idiots are talking about. I haven't seen Delkus chime in on this, although I got to be honest with you. What I have seen from Delkus is a little concerning. Pete Delkus, of course, our weatherman of record here in North Texas. Pete Delkus on Twitter has been saying, look, guys, I don't want to freak everybody out, but maybe we get a little prepared for something that might be coming here later in the week. People are on Twitter saying 15 inches of snow for North Texas, ladies and gentlemen, as we wake up on Friday morning. 15. Can I get closer to the camera? 15. All right, hold on. Time out, folks. Hold on. Johnny Southside here. I grew up with shoveling snow and blizzards and school closings. And okay. So I've been through this a time or two in my life. Let me tell y'all something about North Texas. 15 inches of snow in one 24-hour period in North Texas is an apocalypse level event. And I'm not even remotely kidding. That amount of snow, 15 inches, 1.3 inches, which depending on how the wind is blowing, and it looks like this is going to be carried in on some strong winds, we're talking about 30-foot drifts. 30-foot drifts of snow in North Texas, which, and this is another problem, is flat. You're all flat here. This snow is not only going to drift, but it's going to blow and it's going to be horizontal. It's not going to be slamming into any sort of trees or any sort of hills or valleys. No. A blizzard that could bring 15 inches of snow to North Texas is an apocalypse level event in 2025. I promised you this. So that ain't happening. We got no plows, okay? We've got we got Cletus and Goober in the city of Dallas has like 3 plows, and then they've got other dudes who they can call in a pinch. We don't have plows. There needs to be 2,000 plows for North Texas, 2,000 gigantic city or county or state-owned plows, at least 2,000. And they got to be everywhere, and they got to be everywhere the minute the snow stops and before. You got to put the guys out early to do. Here's the other thing we don't have here. 15 inches of snow. We don't have salt. We use sand. And using sand is fine because for a place that doesn't get much snowfall, you don't have to spend the millions and millions of budget to house the salt. Because unlike sand, salt needs to be stored differently. So you need to build these different structures. You go up north, you drive down the highways, you'll see, especially in like Wisconsin, Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, you'll see these giant igloos on the side of the road, these giant Indian igloos. And you're like, wow, look at that. Those are filled with salt. We don't have those here. Okay, we don't have them here because we don't need them here. 15 inches of snow in a 24-hour period, we're going to need salt, not sand. Sand will compound the problems to the umpteenth degree. Salt melts the snow. However, that's also a problem here because when the snow actually does melt, if 15 inches of snow were to melt, and by the way, make no joke, it's going to melt like within 12 hours, okay? 15 inches of snow is going to melt instantly here in Texas because it'll be 45, like an hour after, then it'll be 50. Like it's going to melt quick. Remember what I told you about how we got nothing but flat here? Guess what happens when 15 inches of snow instantly melts? You've got flash flooding. Okay, that's all rainwater that's just on the ground. And now it's going to melt, and we're going to have flash flooding everywhere. We're going to have lakes spring up where just snow was sitting, and now oh my God, look, Irving Mall is now a lake. So 15 inches of snow. Let's tap the brakes there. I don't think that is insane. Myron says we use a brine. You've seen what is a brine? I don't know what a brine is. We use brine now, Peter says too. Okay, so you've stepped it up. That's good. I don't know what brine is. Is that like weather salt? I don't know. Peter says it snowed like that 14 years ago. Yeah, I was here the last time we had a really big. I wasn't here for snowpocalypse, which wasn't so much snowfall amounts as it was the damage that occurred from heavy wet snow, which caused all the lines to break, which, by the way, that's also what we can expect here. The good news for snowball fight aficionados is that when it does snow here in Texas, it's really good packing snow because it's so warm. It's a wet snow. When you get up in Wisconsin in the middle of January when it's 20 below zero, the snow that falls from the sky, those are like flakes. There's no water in them at all. They're literally just flakes that dissolve the minute they hit anything. You can't make a snowball out of that. It's all powder. Ugh. Heavy, wet snow is what we get here in Texas. That's why every time it snows, it's like everybody builds a snowman. Because you can't build a snowman with any snowfall. Just the good ones. You get good ones here. All right, so there you go. We got weather. Canada, Trudeau. Handsome. What's his name? Justin, handsome, the JT of the North, frozen JT. He's like, I can't do this anymore. Dude's been in for 9 years. That's long enough. See you later, you nepo baby biatch. Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, stepped down today. What do I have thoughts on this? Nah, not really, because it's Canada. I don't have thoughts on America. Why am I suddenly going to have thoughts on the political processes up there in Canada? I don't really give a shit. I didn't like that, like, his dad was prime minister, so now that he's prime minister, right? I mean, I guess we do that too. We got Bushes, we got Adamses, right? Do we have anybody else? Any other father-son tag teams become president here? Maybe that's just something we do. I don't know. Whatever. I'm moving on. It's Canada. None of my business. That's what I like to say. All right, let's do this one. Let's get this out of the way because the next story is, we're going to have some fun with. This was a really shocking story I read on Saturday morning, and it was very sad. And it concerns Aubrey Plaza and the suicide of her husband, Jeff Baena. And I say it's a shocking story because I had no idea she was married. No idea Aubrey Plaza was married. I didn't know she was married. What is going on with these two? They might have been a fun celebrity couple that I would have paid attention to, but now I can't. Apparently, she married this guy. He was a writer, a director. He directed her in a number of films, Life After Beth, which is a really fun zombie movie that she's in. I don't know if you've ever seen that. She's terrific. We all love her. We all love her in a weird way, don't we? Aubrey Plaza. We love her like our damaged little broken bird. Well, okay, I guess there's like some pervy guys who are like, no, I love her because she's hot. I want to bang her. And I guess there's that. I know a lot of dudes who think she's hot. But no, there's another thing that we're attracted to with her. And I think it's that, like, I think, here's what I think. People who adopt the kind of outward personality that, let's say, her character on Parks and Recreation had, that character of hate everything, gonna knock it all down, doesn't like anything. A person who has that character is somebody who is wildly insecure, would never go out on a limb to like something because then somebody might point out that it's not cool to like that thing. So they operate almost entirely on a basis of, I'm going to destroy everything before it has a chance to destroy me or possibly negatively affect me if I turn out to like it. So it's a weird, dark sort of, I don't know, get in therapy. Go in therapy. You learn all about these different. I'm very attracted to that personality type. The dark sort of, I like the bitch. We've always talked about that. We'll talk about more of how I like a bitchy woman coming up. But that's the attraction to her. And her husband obviously suffered from depression. Her husband, Jeff Baena, hung himself in their home in California on Friday. He was discovered by an assistant. I don't know the whereabouts of Aubrey Plaza. I don't even know. I mean, you kill yourself. Did he kill? Look, we don't know. Did her husband kill himself and intentionally do it in a way where he would be discovered by his assistants because you don't want your wife to discover you? I don't know. Anyway, as somebody who has depression, I don't see suicide the same way that a lot of other people do. So we'll leave my little lecturing about all of that and just say that Aubrey Plaza is somebody that we all like, and she is probably really sad. Like, not that act kind of sad, but this is when somebody is capable of this, okay, this kind of thing, you as their spouse know they are capable of it. I'm sorry, you just do. If you have any kind of close relationship, you understand that they are a person with depression, and you probably live a lot of your days knowing that what she had happened to her on Friday could happen. So good thoughts for Aubrey Plaza. This is a very sad situation. Another guy succumbed to his depression. Handsome guy, film director, had an incredible, talented wife, Anyway, there you go. Very sad. Aubrey Plaza's husband, Jeff Baena, committed suicide on Friday. And there you go. All right. Now, I wanted to get that out of the way because that was kind of a serious story. And this next story is absolutely not serious. This next story isn't serious at all. This next story, as a matter of fact, I've gone through the lawsuit up and down, and I can't find anything that I really think is all that bad that happened, but here's what it is. It's gossipy. It's gossipy and it's juicy and it's filled with all kinds of stuff that we have absolutely no right knowing about. But when we find out about it, we're like, yeah, tell me more. And that is, of course, the situation that unfolded late last night at FS1, Fox Sports 1. Interesting, and I'll just only mention this once. This very same situation happened in very similar ways at Fox News. This is happening at Fox Sports. So, Fox management has already been through this at the highest levels when they had to do all those payoffs and fire Bill O'Reilly. Who did they fire? I don't even know. Did Bill O'Reilly get fired for something? Did Tucker get fired for something? I don't even know. Whatever they did at Fox News, they've been to this rodeo before. Now, I don't know what's happening at Fox News right now, so let's table that. I don't know, is anybody getting fired? Are people off the air? Let me tell you what's happening at Fox Sports 1. I'm all in on this because I love Fox Sports 1. I really do. I am a fan. I'm a fan of all of those shows. I hate watch Fox Sports 1 like no other network available to me. And when I say hate watch, I just mean it's sports talk. So, and they got a lot of big, dumb, know nothing, out of town, stupid people say all kinds of stuff. They also have people who are interesting and entertaining and all that. I like their production. I like these new shows, The Facility. I don't know if you've seen that. I like that. That's pretty good. The other show, what is the morning show with my boy Danny Parkins, who they stole from my favorite sports radio show in Chicago. It's Carton, Mark Schlereth, and Danny Parkins. That's a good one. Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor has always been one of my favorite people at Fox Sports 1. Who is Joy Taylor? Well, I'll show you Joy Taylor. Let's get some pictures of Joy Taylor. And why? Why? Well, because it's like Jell-O. It's never a bad time for some Joy Taylor. That's what I always say. And by the way, this is not Anna Taylor-Joy. All right. This is Fox. Hey, did we get knocked off? Can you guys hear me? Huh. Yeah, I know my video is down. No idea what happened. All right, maybe we'll just... Why on earth did that happen? Jesus, very strange. That was weird. Anyway, Joy Taylor. Oh, yeah, I love Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor used to sit in the middle of, was it Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless? I don't like Skip Bayless. He needs to. Joy Taylor is a sports host, an anchor at FS1. She's one of their biggest stars. Look at her, man. She is a bombshell, man. I love Joy. I'm sorry, I'm not going to lie about it. I love Joy Taylor. I have always thought that Joy Taylor was about as sexy a woman as they have ever put on television. Man, and she is such a bitch. Oh, such a bitch. She's like this smoke show hot chick who's just surrounding herself with retired former pro athletes, and she argues sports with them every day, and she's just, I don't even know what her takes are. She might have shit takes, but I'm telling you, I just love her bitching. Look at that. Look at that. That's her. This is all her, she's a beautiful woman. All right, hold on. Let me get to her. She's a beautiful woman. She's very voluptuous. There's her show, Speak for Yourself. There she is there. All right, so let's go. Let's just leave that there so we know what we're working with. That is a bombshell, Joy Taylor. So here's what's happening. So a hairdresser at Fox Sports 1, a person who cuts everybody's hair for these shows, has gone to the authorities, if you will. And by that, I mean she's filed a civil suit. She's filed a civil case against her employers at FS1. And she has named in the case, oh my God, she's name checking some people. Most notably, Joy Taylor, Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, Mr. Dixon, Charles Dixon, want to get the name right. He's an executive at Fox Sports 1. And the most interesting one, and we'll get to this in a moment, her current co-host, Emmanuel Acho. All right, not Sam Acho. Sam Acho played for the Bears. Okay, Emmanuel Acho. All right, so the hairdresser, I'm going to read you the story. I don't need to, look, I have got so much information on this. Let's go through the charges, okay? All right, let's do that. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly what's happening there at Fox Sports 1 and all of these sports shows. Let's see here. Allegations range from sexual harassment, racist remarks, and numerous cases of infidelity. So remember, these are all charges being asserted by a former hairdresser who was let go in August. On Sunday evening, news broke that Fox Sports, several prominent on-air personalities, and an executive had been named defendants in a wide-ranging workplace misconduct lawsuit filed in California. The suit, brought by a former Fox Sports hairstylist, Nushin Faraji, The suit, brought by former Fox Sports hairstylist, Nushin Faraji, who worked at the company for over a decade, details allegations of sexual harassment from former FS1 host Skip Bayless and Fox Sports executive Charlie Dixon, along with racially insensitive comments by current FS1 host Joy Taylor. All right, so that's pretty much the only stray that Joy is going to catch as far as her being responsible for anything, and we'll get to that. But the details, the side dish that we learn about the behavior of Joy Taylor, it was like reading penthouse letters last night. For a guy like me, Fox issued the following statement to Front Office Sports. That's the article that I'm reading here. Actually, they're the ones who broke it. I'm reading this from Awful Announcing. Here's what Fox Sports says. We take these allegations seriously and have no further comment at this time, given this pending litigation. The allegations span several years and implicate numerous Fox Sports employees and on-air talents. Below are some of the most stunning accusations in the lawsuit. All right, here we go. This is the big one that everybody's talking about. So again, the hairstylist says that Skip Bayless offered her $1.5 million for sex. 1.5. Now, how much are they paying Skip Bayless? 2, ain't no sex worth 1.5 million. Dude, seriously, just before you finalize that transaction, go into a bathroom and jerk off and then come back out. Seriously, there's something wrong with you if you're thinking 1.5 million is worth. I mean, I guess unless you're Elon Musk, right? If money in that case is used as just an expedient, you're Elon Musk, then maybe. But if you're like, Skip Bayless, what's he worth? 20 million? Let's say on the high end, Skip Bayless is worth 20 million. All right, so Skip Bayless is worth 20 million. He's offering 1.5. That's not a real offer. And also, how hot is this hairdresser? All right, let's learn about this one. According to the hairdresser's allegations, Skip Bayless spent years making sexual advances towards her. This included lingering hugs and kisses on the cheek while putting his body against hers and pressing against her breasts. At one point during a haircut, Skip Bayless referred to Faraji as voluptuous. With English being a second language to her, Faraji was not familiar with the term. Per her legal filing, Mr. Bayless seemed amused that she didn't know the word and told her to, quote, figure it out. Mrs. Faraji later asked a coworker what the word meant and was mortified to learn what voluptuous means. That's a charge? That's a charge. That's a legal charge. She's looking, is Skip Bayless an asshole? Well, yeah. Is that a charge? He called you voluptuous and you didn't know what it meant, so you weren't even offended in the moment. You had to take extra steps by your own personal edification to learn what the word means, only to find you are now offended. That is some bullshit, Your Honor. That is some bullshit, Your Honor. Is it a nice moment for her? Nah, not at all. But that, I move to dismiss. That's stupid. Now, again, is that the charge? That's the charge. That's the thing that she was hurt by. He called her voluptuous, therefore sexual harassment, right? That's the charge. We don't care about that. What we care about is the thing that's not illegal at all, which is that Skip Bayless offered $1.5 million to have sex with her. See? That's what I mean. It's the gossip in this thing that's most interesting. All right, here's another one that's so more from Bayless. Several years after Bayless's initial advances, Faraji confronted the undisputed host about health issues that she had developed in an effort to cease any further harassment. She told him she had ovarian cancer. So she told Skip, hey, I've got ovarian cancer, blah, blah, blah. And what she's trying to do, and by the way, you have to understand how these conversation happens. Every day he sits in her chair and she does his hair for the show. So there are these long conversations that occur. So she lets him know that she has ovarian cancer. She's thinking in the back of her mind that he's going to stop trying to bang me, right? If she thinks I'm dying. Let's see here. She had hoped that it would cease any further harassment. In July of 2021, Mrs. Faraji developed issues with her left ovary. Okay. All right. So this was real and was advised it could be cancer. With a fourth biopsy scheduled, she explained her situation to Mr. Bayless, hoping that he would take pity on her and cease his advances. Instead, Mr. Bayless told her that he wanted to be with her forever. Mrs. Faraji panicked and began rambling that there were cameras everywhere, that she had a child, and that she does not want him. Skip Bayless. Mr. Bayless then grabbed her hands, began kissing them, and offered her $1.5 million to have sex. Mrs. Faraji made an excuse to leave. All right, so he's shooting his shot. I don't see how that's illegal. Sorry. I know that there is this sort of perception that he is her boss, but technically within the corporate structure, he's not her boss. Well, he's above her. Yeah, he is above her. Does he have influence with her boss? Probably, but I don't know, man. Nothing here. I mean, this is all behavior that I expect from Skip Bayless. I don't really see anything that is necessarily all that troubling, other than this idiot is willing to spend $1.5 million. $1.5 million for hairdresser Strange? What is going on? Do you know what 1.5 million could get you? Anyway, Mr. Bayless told Mrs. Farage that he fantasizes about having sex with her and asked how much money it would take for her to have sex with him. Mrs. Faraji stated that she already refused his $1.5 million and that her answer wasn't going to change. Mr. Bayless replied, "The more you say no, the more I want you." Oh, God, creepy. Skip Bayless is like an old dude still, right? He's an old dude. He remembers when, you could grab a chick's ass in the office and absolutely nothing would happen to you. Everybody would laugh and you'd be the funny guy in the office and you'd get promoted. That's where he comes from. So he doesn't know. He's just creepo. All right, here we go. More charges against Bayless in the FS1 suit. Skip Bayless makes racist remark towards Faraji and accuses her of having sex with Shannon Sharp. So he was jealous. He thought she was having sex with Sharp, the partner. Shay Shay. Approximately 1 week later, Mr. Bayless made another advance at Miss Faraji. Mrs. Faraji responded, "Skip, stop. You have a wife." Mr. Bayless responded, "Aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your dad have 3 or 4 wives?" Mrs. Faraji responded that her father was dead. And when Mr. Bayless looked taken aback, she made an excuse to leave. Okay, rough. Yeah. Is that an asshole thing to say? Of course. Actionable legally? I don't think so. Being stupid, like he's done, like, hey, don't all Muslim dads have? I mean, you can say that, right? He's questioning. I don't understand how that's improper, of course. Really embarrassing when it's, sees the light of day, as the story is. But I don't think that this is actionable in court. I just think it's bad court of public opinion stuff. And that's what we're doing here. After Faraji had repeatedly shut down Bayless's advances, the FS1 host accused her of having sex with his undisputed co-host and professional rival, Shannon Sharp. Here's a quote. Mrs. Faraji's job was threatened because she does not sleep with Mr. Bayless. Mr. Bayless answered the door, and before Mrs. Faraji could speak, he began to angrily accuse. Okay, so she had to go to his dressing room, and he opened the door, and before she could say why she was there, because I don't know, maybe he left the hairpiece or something. I don't know, whatever. But he started lecturing her about why she shouldn't sleep or be sleeping with Shannon Sharp, which we don't know. She denied. She says, I never slept with Shannon Sharp, but I think she totally slept with Shannon Sharp. Okay. So that's some Skip Bayless stuff and his involvement with the hairdresser who's brought charges against almost everybody at FS1. I don't really see anything there. He's an asshole. That's it. He should be fired. Probably get fired because it's bad for court of public opinion. But what about the actual civil court system? I don't see it being a big problem. I really don't. I see settlements coming. I see this being more embarrassing the more it plays out. They need it to go away, and she needs to get paid in order to do that. Fox executive Charlie Dixon, he's one of the most important people at Fox. He's one of the top programming guys, okay? He gave Joy Taylor the show Undisputed as a reward for sex. That's right. This is where we get into the good penthousey leather stuff concerning Joy Taylor. Here's what it says. Before landing her major role as the host and moderator of Undisputed, Faraji, the hairdresser, alleges that Joy Taylor engaged in a sexual relationship with Fox Sports executive Charlie Dixon. He is the executive responsible for content decisions. She did this to secure the position on the show. According to the lawsuit, this alleged arrangement helped Taylor secure the job, but ultimately contributed to the breakdown of her marriage shortly after tying the knot. So she had moved from Miami to Los Angeles to pursue TV work at Fox Sports 1. She had a husband she left, Joy Taylor, back in Miami. She immediately landed in Hollywood and started having, at least if you believe the hairdresser, affairs with multiple people. First of all, the executive, she was a spare. She was a update girl for some Fox radio thing. And all of a sudden, she's front and center on TV wearing low-cut dresses and turning a nation filled with teenage boys inside out every day. How did that happen? Well, it turns out she was banging Charlie Dixon. Charlie Dixon, the executive. He gave her Undisputed to the point that, as Skip Bayless is mentioned here again, Skip Bayless was against the hiring of Joy Taylor. He didn't want her on the set. He wanted somebody else. He didn't think she wasn't a known. She was a nobody. Skip Bayless was like, no, I don't think she's good. Charlie Dixon, the executive, went to Skip Bayless and said, please do it as a favor for me. And so Skip Bayless is like, all right, fine. And that's how we got that show. Skip Bayless hated her the whole time she was there. He would go to executives because apparently Skip was a guy who had power. He would go to executives and he would complain about her. In approximately May of 2016, Miss Taylor asked the hairdresser if she would meet for a drink in Santa Monica. All right, so you get this. So obviously, Joy Taylor's hair probably takes a lot of time. And the hairdresser works with Joy Taylor's hair every single day. And so they're girls, and they're like, we should get a drink after work. So they became friends. The hairdresser and Joy Taylor became friends because, as Joy explained, she had just moved from Miami, didn't know anybody in Los Angeles, and, was kind of lonely. In approximately May, Miss Taylor, 2016, Miss Taylor asked Miss Faraji to meet for a drink in Santa Monica. When Miss Faraji arrived, she found Joy Taylor with an older man, Fox Sports Executive Vice President of Content, Mr. Dixon. As Executive Vice President, Mr. Dixon is responsible for overseeing all content and production on FS1. Miss Faraji, however, did not know Mr. Dixon. So basically, this happens another time with another Fox News personality where Joy Taylor's like, let's meet for drinks. And it happens multiple times with this guy, Charlie Dixon. Here's what Joy Taylor was doing. She was using the hairstylist as cover to be able to meet with these men in bars. So it wasn't just Joy Taylor meeting with hanging out with a Fox News. No, there was always this other girl, the hairstylist, who was brought along. She saw everything. This happened one more time with Emmanuel Acho. Emmanuel Acho, who is currently her co-host on, I don't even know what that show is called. Is it The Facility? Is that what it is? Emmanuel Acho, who is the most irritating new voice in sports television. This guy is dangerous. I'm glad he's doing sports because I'm telling you, if this guy was a mega pastor, he would convince half the world that, end of days is coming. He is articulate. He is smart. He is a fast-talking con man. I don't believe anything he says. I think he's full of shit because I also possess a little bit of that fast-talking con man gene. So I can spot it in other people. So when I see Acho, I'm like, I don't know. So Joy Taylor is also having an affair with Emmanuel Acho. Let's get rid of that. Here's Emmanuel Acho. This is from a couple of years ago. This is Emmanuel Acho on Working with Joy Taylor, okay? Now we know that they're banging, okay? Or at least now we know that the suggestion is that Emmanuel Acho is banging. So here we go. Let's listen to this and then let's talk about this because I've got some thoughts here as well. This is Emmanuel Acho on Joy Taylor from years ago, which is very interesting in the light of what we now know, that they were hooking up.
With rehearsal for the new show Speak, and I got to take a moment to shout out my co-host Joy Taylor. A woman, a black woman, daily show, sports. Do you all realize how hard it is to get into the position that she is in? Ha! So often there's misogyny and sexism running rampant in sports, and we don't even care what women have to say in sports. But Joy is not only in the position on television as a woman, as a black woman, but as an opinionist. So not just asking men what they think, but providing her own unique and distinct insight. It's hard to do, and Joy, you have done it. So congratulations. Looking forward to working with you and hope y'all tune in. 4:30.
Oh, she's so brave. And to be able to do it as a black woman, as a powerful woman, she slept with everybody. Her husband in Miami learned about it about 6 months after she moved. He tweeted back in 2020, her husband in Miami, upon hearing about her hooking up with both Acho and Dixon, tweeted publicly, "I married a hoe." That's circulating now. Saw that circulating last night. I married a hoe. So look, this is what Joy Taylor did. I got to tell you, for the first 5 years or so of me knowing who Joy Taylor was, I used to tune in and watch her and I just assumed it was nepotism, right? Isn't that what y'all thought? She's Jason Taylor's sister. She is Miami Dolphins legend Jason Taylor's sister. So I always assumed that she, that was her way through the door. Turns out no. Turns out maybe that was one way through the door. But she also saw the guy who was in charge of giving people contracts and putting them on the air. She saw this in a guy named Charlie Dixon, and she moved to Los Angeles and went, I'm going to fuck that guy. And I'm going to get myself a good job out of it. I'm going to manipulate him. He's going to give me the job because I'm going to use my womanly wiles. So that's what she did. Now, I don't have a problem with that. I'm going to be consistent about this. I think that sexy women, I don't have a problem with sexy women using that power on men. And I hate this twisted view of feminism that says that is wrong for a woman to use whatever she can to manipulate a man, because you better goddamn well believe that if a man possessed the same kind of manipulation abilities as women, there would be no shame in using it. If a woman can get what she wants from a man by leading him to believe, or even possibly through negotiation, giving something that she doesn't care all that much about giving up, more power to her. That's a strong, badass. A woman should be able to fuck anybody they want at any point, and it shouldn't mean anything. And you know what? If fucking this guy also means that I'm going to get my contract processed quicker, or maybe I'm going to get a better spot on this lineup, who are we to judge? I wish there was somebody that I could have blown back in the day. I mean, but that's me. A lot of other people are like, she just used her sex appeal. Yeah, and Roger Clemens just used his arm. The fuck, man? People have talents. This idea of feminism where women are not allowed to use whatever it is that they have at their disposal because somehow that lessens what feminists are. You're full of shit, man. Anyway, all right. So having said that about Joy Taylor, now let me give you another piece of dirt here. So, Emmanuel Acho was spotted. He didn't work in the Los Angeles offices. Emmanuel Acho was spotted by the hairdresser walking on the floors at FS1, and the hairdresser saw Emmanuel Acho. Now, remember, she had gone out, the hairdresser, with Joy Taylor for drinks. And when the hairdresser arrived, Joy was already there with Emmanuel Acho. Remember, the hairdresser was being used by Joy as sort of this beard, if you will, because she was a married woman who didn't want to be known as someone who was sleeping to the top. So the hairdresser sees Emmanuel Acho and she runs and finds Joy, and she's like, oh my God, that guy from the bar the other night, he's here, he's on the floor. And Joy Taylor said, yeah, he's going to start working here now. And so the hairstylist said, wait a second, so you're having a relationship, this is all in the lawsuit. The hairstylist says to Joy Taylor, so you're having a sexual relationship with your boss, Charlie, the executive who gave you the show, and now you're having a sexual relationship with your co-host on the show? Isn't that dangerous? And reportedly, according to this lawsuit, Joy Taylor said, no, because if Charlie has a problem with it, I'll go public that he sexually assaulted me. There you go. Joy Taylor wasn't worried about the whole thing being blown up because she wasn't afraid of a scandal, because she knew the scandal could be controlled, because all she would do is accuse the Fox News executive whom she was sleeping with. It was a mutually beneficial thing. I am certain from looking at Joy Taylor that Fox News executive enjoyed the experience. Enjoyed, no pun intended. But she's now going to destroy him? Like, that's the back end of it? That somehow, and how does she justify this? Because he's a guy that's like, well, he's sleeping with me to give me the job. You're willing to sleep with him. It's transactional. And now you're going to just go to the authorities and say that he raped you if this goes squirrely? Holy fuck. And this is documented. So all of the shit that you can hear from this FS1 story, all that, I loved Joy Taylor. Notice I said loved, but I believe this. I believe that she is a broken, awful person, not because she's sexually empowered or not because she's promiscuous. God love that. That's a woman and that's her choices. It's because of this. It's because if true, this is one of the most evil things. Not only as a man does that infuriate me, but if I were a woman who had actually gone through something and kept my mouth shut, I would be livid. I would be, what a betrayal. What a betrayal of just everybody. Well, if it goes bad, hi, I'm Joy Taylor. If it goes bad, I'll just say that he sexually assaulted me. And who would believe that I would have sex? I don't know if she said that, but oh my God. What else do we have here from the FS1? Let's see here. Charlie Dixon also groped Faraji, the hairdresser, at a party. Okay, I know that's sexual assault. I know groping. Sexual assault also, isn't sexual assault also like grabbing a woman off the street, dragging her behind a dumpster, cracking her over the head, and then like physically raping her? That's sexual assault too, right? So grabbing a girl's butt, hey baby, patting her on the ass, is the same as that, right? Maybe we come up with a different term for ass grabbing, because, you know, sexual assault, again, sounds like what happened to Jodie Foster on the pinball machine in the movie The Accused, right? That's sexual assault. Not applauding for that. Not applauding for sexual assault. That's sexual assault. Sexual ass grabbing. There should be, it's a lesser charge is my point. Look, it's as absurd as marijuana being grouped with cocaine and opium. Okay? We changed that. We got marijuana off the Schedule 1. We're no longer pretending it's the same thing. So, okay. So if you're Fox, what do you do with this guy? All the other things is just gossip. He grabbed a girl's ass. Okay. That is, it's not good. So, okay. Charlie Dixon can be fired. There you go. I think that's how you solve this. You fire the executive. You don't have to worry about Skip Bayless, right? He's off the air. You don't worry about him. And who cares about Joy Taylor and Acho? Who cares? Look, MSNBC has, we're all waiting for Mika and Joe to just, do it right there on the desk. Why not just go public now with Acho and, probably because Acho's married or some shit. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. All I know is I am loving this. There's another woman, though. There's another woman known as Miss M who is mentioned. Who I don't know who that is, but it's an on-air female personality who was at Fox Sports 1, referred to in the legal filings as Miss M, and she was a piece of work. She was. This hairdresser had some awful shit to say about Miss M, too. Let me see if I can find some. Fox employee harasses Faraji but isn't fired because yeah, here you go. Bobby Diaz. Here's a story about Bobby Diaz, a guy who was a production assistant who harassed Faraji almost daily because she was a Muslim. She was very mean to her. Now look, she's not I've seen a picture of her. She's hot. She's like an American. She's of Persian descent. All right. I don't even know, whatever. She's not walking around in a hijab or whatever that is. She looks hot. She's a hot Hollywood hairstyle. What do you think she's going to look like? She's a smoke show. Okay. So anyway, she's running around, and this guy, Bobby Diaz, he would always, like, racially, and it says here, sexually harass her. He would touch her butt as well. And she reported him to Human Resources like 3 times, Bobby Diaz, but they wouldn't fire him. And she says it's because he's the guy who supplied cocaine for all the parties, which is a very real thing. Okay, guys? I know you think all of these like little groups. Pick your favorite radio station, pick your favorite TV show, pick your favorite whatever. Famously, Saturday Night Live, back in the first season, the early seasons, the not ready for primetime players, when these people were all doing all kinds of drugs. All of their drugs were purchased by Al Franken and Tom Davis. Al Franken and Tom Davis were junior writers who were only on the staff because they had excellent drug hookups and could supply Belushi and Murray and all of these people with all the drugs they wanted. That is the origin story of Senator Al Franken. Supplied cocaine and marijuana to the original Saturday Night Live group. So all of these, we had it. There was a dude at Live 105.3 who sold everybody weed. And I don't know, he probably had other things too if you needed it, but he was there. He was just a dude who worked in, I won't even say what department. And everybody knew that if you wanted weed, and that's why he was there. So you're telling me that there's a dude at Fox Sports 1 in Los Angeles who's got a cocaine hookup and everybody sort of looks out for him because, well, can't fire that guy. We'd have to find a new cocaine dude. Yeah, so that's probably true. Very true. Every radio station I've ever worked at had the hookup guy. What do you need? Yeah, go talk to Marco. Marco's got the hookup. He's whatever you need. I mean, it's just how these things work. And I don't know that media is any different than the accounting firm you work for or whatever it is. I don't know. I've only ever worked in media, so I can tell you this stuff is real. All right, Mrs. M. This is anonymous. Oh, and she's black. All right, so here, this is a Fox employee referred here as Mrs. M in the lawsuit, begins targeting Faraji, the hairdresser, due to her Persian ancestry. One night at an informal dinner at Maestro's Steakhouse, she grew irrationally enraged with Miss Faraji, hairdresser, and screamed, "F you, you Persian bitch." The dinner ended after Miss M broke a glass and threatened to harm herself. Miss M is a former television personality at Fox Sports. She's black. Her name is Miss M, and I must know who she is. I need, despite these reports supposedly being anonymous, Mrs. Faraji's coworker, another coworker who was at the table when Miss M went nuts, who's black. Maybe Miss M isn't black. Whatever. I don't know. It doesn't say what the ethnicity of Miss M. However, another coworker at this dinner where Miss M called the hairdresser a Persian bitch, another woman at the dinner who works there who is black reported it to Human Resources. There you go. Mrs. Faraji's coworker, who is black, reported the incident to Human Resources, explaining that she would not be okay with someone calling her a black bitch. Despite these reports supposedly being anonymous, Mrs. M learned of the reports and became increasingly unstable towards the hairdresser. Every single morning, Miss M would scream and throw things at Mrs. Faraji before, during, and after her treatment. So this is a woman who is in the chair getting her hair done. Fuck. Oh, man, this is crazy. All right. That's awesome. You guys, there is more, but this is going to be a slow roll. The Fox Sports 1 situation. Oh, how decadent. I was talking on Twitter earlier today with my buddy, the great Hammer, Greg the Hammer Williams. Follow him, Riff Raff, on... by the way, I should mention, I had an amazing honor bestowed upon me this weekend. I received... And by the way, you're always welcome to slide into my DMs. Although there's a lot of them. Mr. Groob slid into my DMs and asked me if I would like to come and be a guest once again on a return visit to Your Dark Companion, the great Mike Reiner, digital media. I did it last summer. He was like, when he started it, he's like, hey, I'd like you to come be on it. And I did it. And we had an incredible conversation for like 2-3 hours, just two people talking. And then, I don't know, I thought like I didn't hear. And I don't know what I'm expecting to hear, but I was like, oh, it was terrible. He hates me. Mike and I are never going to be buddies like I want. He hates my guts. And then they asked me this weekend, it's like, you want to come back? We want to have you back. And I'm like, oh, that is such an honor. So yeah, so I'll be doing that. Anyway, Grego, of course, the Hammer in the old Mike Reiner Hammer sort of combination. I was talking to him online today about the FS1 story. In fact, I was thinking, I'm like, man, I'd like to call him. We're going to start doing things a little bit differently in the coming year. But he was talking about how at the Ticket, as you can imagine here in town, the Ticket, the legendary sports talk station, and of course, Mike and the Hammer, Greg, part of the hard line and the dominance that they enjoyed for all those years. He was like, yeah, we had the Ticket chicks. And if I'm being honest, the Ticket was a pretty safe environment. And he's like, except for me. It's like, because famously, Greg was a wild man. He's a more mature and reserved gentleman, but he's got stories. You want to sit down and talk to him, he'll tell you some stories. So then I got thinking about 105.3. And I had a lot of interns. I mean, there was a period of time in my broadcast career where I had a bunch of people who were under me, who worked for me, right? Who I could have, and we had really attractive interns. All of our female interns were attractive who would become producers. But I never had any kind of an issue with anything like that. Like, oh, Pugs is trying to bang the intern, or even with, promotions girls or anything like that. I never really had any kind of issue, whereas other people on the station did. Famously, Russ was pretty debauched. But I never had any of those issues, and I'll tell you why. And it's not because of my own grace or moral foundation or whatever. I never had any of those issues because I had Kelly Moore and Sybil Summers shadowing me everywhere, judging my every move, and making sure that I wasn't like that. That influence of my whatever that was, the shows that we did here in Dallas all those years ago, whatever that was, and I had a lot of good times. We had fun, and I got stories too, right? I did some things, but I wonder if it would have been different without having Kelly and without being accountable to two women. I was a single guy, but I was still accountable to Kelly, and I was accountable to Sybil, and I didn't want, I don't know, it was just weird. It's weird. I feel like maybe I missed out. I would have liked to have been a lot sluttier. Like, it would have been fun. The ticket, Grego was telling me, he's like, yeah, we didn't really have a problem there at the ticket. He goes, I was safe for the stuff that I was behind. And so 105.3 was pretty debauched, but that was because of Russ Martin. Russ Martin did a lot of terrible things to women in the pre-Me Too movement. I mean, legitimately terrible things. Like, I'm not talking about Russ grabbed a girl's butt once. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, he locked girls in rooms, and it's all a bit, man. It's just a bit, and he got away with it because Anyway. All right, let's keep going. Let's move on from the Joy Taylor story. God, she's so hot. Oh, my God. This is a bummer of a story. Plaza Latina, right there off of Harry Hines. You see this on Friday? Plaza Latina is one of these giant, flea market kind of things. It's a whole bunch of stores. It's funky. Don't get me wrong. It's funky. But what did I go there for? We went there. We were buying, this was just a couple of years ago. It was during this stint of me being here in Texas. I don't remember what we were doing over there. But I remember thinking, Plaza Latina. So it pops back up in the news this weekend. Plaza Latina, which is at Royal and Harry Hines. It burnt down. Well, I don't know if it all burned down, but enough of it burnt down that it was quite a story and quite a news story. However, the really sad thing about it is that the pet store burned down. Oh, that is no way to start 2025. Absolutely no way. So, yeah. So anyway, a whole bunch of, but here's, all right, good news, right? You're thinking the pet store burned down. You're thinking a whole bunch of dogs and cats and hamsters. And no, not really. Not really. Two dogs died. Okay, sure. A bunch of hamsters, but hamsters are just fancy rats. That's all. They're just rats wearing fancy coats. Where I can't really get bent out of shape about hamsters dying. Although we do. I remember I had hamsters. Every time a hamster died, I got really bummed out. So it was mostly birds. It was like birds, right? A whole bunch of birds got, and by the way, here, if you're starting to be like, oh, this is a terrible story, even if they are birds, it's smoke inhalation. None of them burned, none of them cooked up, none of them touched flame. It was just smoke inhalation that killed the animals. All right, there you go. The sad story of Plaza Latina. Harry Hines and Royal caught fire over the weekend on Friday. Let's see, what story is this? Hold on, what is this story? I had this story. What was the problem? No, Allstate is apparently involved in some kind of a scandal. The CEO, Thomas Wilson of Allstate, in the Allstate Sugar Bowl, remember it had to be delayed because of the terror attack on Bourbon Street. I don't know, the CEO of I'm trying to read this story. Why did I save this story? Anyway, I don't care. CEO had a pre-recorded message that played before the Sugar Bowl. Apparently it was on TV as well, where he called for us all to be, more tolerant and all of that. And he got hammered because, nobody wants to be tolerant. And, people were like, was a Muslim and, all of that. Okay. All right. Anyway, bad timing on the part of the CEO. And some bad advice. If they want better advice, they can call me right here. I'll offer them a discount on my crisis management services. I probably would not have been. Hold on, sorry. Just got a message. The fudge is this? What did Ed just send me? Ed just sent me something. God, do I look that random? Ed just sent me a picture of another podcaster, and I'm like, is that me wearing a different hat? And I'm like, oh, I got to do something with this look. This look isn't good. The beard, jeez. All right. Anyway, CEO of Allstate, he had a message of decency and it was trashed as, not the time. So, okay, whatever. Here's another story that came out of the Sugar Bowl over the weekend that I wanted to mention. This is awful. Kirby Smart's father. Kirby Smart, the head coach of Georgia. Kirby Smart's dad fell on New Year's Eve. He fell there. He was down there in New Orleans, going to watch his son coach the Georgia Bulldogs to a Sugar Bowl victory over the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Didn't work out on the field or for Kirby's dad. He slipped and he broke his hip. He broke his hip and he had to have emergency hip surgery. And this was on Thursday. He had the emergency hip surgery and he died on Saturday from emergency hip surgery. Kirby Smart, that's terrible. His dad's down there. Kirby's coaching. So my point is this. Kirby Smart was coaching on the sideline in that game, knowing that his father had fallen like hours before. Well, wait, when was it? Like a day before. So he was distracted. I mean, I don't know. Look, I'm a Notre Dame fan, so I'm going to take the victory. You know what I mean? But still, that's interesting. Anyway, sad story. Kirby Smart, his papa, passed away. I don't know why the hell I just hit those sound effects. What else do we have here? Jason Kelsey's got a new TV show. That's what they call late night or something. They call it late night. It's an ESPN attempt to do what? Didn't Fox News have like some really bad late night show with like Anthony Cumia and a whole bunch of band comedians? And it's not funny. It's where Grudfeld. What's his name? Gumpfeld. It's where that dude came from. He was relegated to the middle of the night. They were like, yeah, we'll take a flyer on this guy. Now he's like the most important guy at Fox. Good for him. I don't begrudge any man their success. But that show was not funny. That late night show was stupid. And ESPN is trying to do it too. ESPN's like, yeah, we're going to do a late night show and we're going to have Jason Kelsey and we're going to be real, tongue in cheeky about it. And we're even going to name it something. That's what they call late night. Well, no, nobody calls it late night. Because apparently it sucks. Apparently it's really bad. Or at least the first episode was. I don't think that's fair to judge it. But man, oh man, did they come and I didn't watch it. I don't know. I'm just going on what the reviews are. All right, now I got to check it out. That's what I'll say. Now I got to check it out. That's what they call look, I believe it's awful. I absolutely believe it's awful. Well, let me be the judge of it. All right, I'm going to leave you tonight with this. And then we'll be back tomorrow. Once again, please help out with the show if you can. Tip the show. We are in a pledge week. I don't know that we've made any money yet today. We need to make $50 per show. I'll keep you updated on where we are on that. Hell, if we make over $50 a show, we might not even, we might end this on Thursday. Well, I'll end it as soon as we end it. But help us stay in business, if you will. All right, let's talk about the Golden Globes last night. Golden Globes are my favorite. They are my favorite. They are absolutely my favorite of the award shows. And that's saying something now because they all suck. So, it's my favorite. It's like, melanoma is my favorite of the cancers. What are we talking about here? I used to love award shows when I was younger. Loved them, man. I used to get all excited. Oscar season. Yeah, it was the Grammys, Emmys, whatever. I loved them. Not so much anymore. They seem kind of, the magic is lost on me. But I always enjoyed the Golden Globes, and I'll tell you why. The Globe, not because, it's the international film community who's putting this on and they're on. No, I don't give a shit about that. The Golden Globes were better and are better and continue to be better than all the other ones because it's a dinner with alcohol, okay? The entire room at the Golden Globes is drunk. They're drinking wine and they're eating and they're drunk. The Oscars are people sitting in a theater seat. They're just sitting. There's no waitresses. There's no servers. This leads to better speeches. This leads to, a little bit more people shouting things. It's a little bit more rowdy. It's a little bit more fun. So I do enjoy the Golden Globes. I also enjoy that the Golden Globes combine both television and movies, which I think is a really nice way to sort of, you can watch the Oscars and then you can watch the Emmys, or you can just watch the Golden Globes and they'll give you both. Nikki Glaser was the host last night. The host of the Golden Globes over the past 20 years has become, very similar to what being host of the Oscars used to be. Now being host of nobody wants to be host of the Oscars. They're like, Golden Globes is different. People vie to be the host of the Golden Globes because it's a star-making kind of thing. Ricky Gervais, he, about 10, 15 years ago, I think he uncorked the modern era of the Golden Globes host by just burning the room down, just like getting up there and being like, yeah, you people all suck. You people are the worst. And so then they went with, him for a couple more times. They had Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. They were really good. So Nikki Glaser, comedian Nikki Glaser, who has been appointed. She's been anointed from on high. Ladies and gentlemen, 2025, Nikki Glaser is now a star. She's now a legit star. Nikki Glaser, for a lot of us who love comedy, she's been bouncing around for years now. She's always been, like, hey, that Nikki Glaser's kind of hot. She's always been kind of she's funny. Not great. I mean, I never thought she was awesome. I thought she was particularly good in roast situations. She's funny. She made headlines a couple of months back. It's how she got the Golden Globes hosting duties. She made headlines a couple of months back at the Tom Brady roast, where she was great. She just crushed him. But the kind of stuff that she did at the Tom Brady roast, that's not the kind of stuff that you can't build a career on that. You can't build a giant career on that. You can build a successful career playing clubs and all that kind of stuff. You can have that career if you want that. But Nikki Glaser is beautiful and talented, and she wants more. She wants like iconic fame. So you can't go and do the Tom Brady roast stuff at the Golden Globes. So the interesting thing was, how is she going to balance this? Is Nikki Glaser, who doesn't have what Ricky Gervais had. When Ricky Gervais burned Hollywood down, Ricky Gervais had residuals for the rest of his life from The Office, okay? Ricky Gervais has fuck you money. Nikki Glaser doesn't. Nikki Glaser needs to use the Golden Globes as some sort of, as I said, anointment of who she is in Hollywood. So how is she going to do that? The expectation is the Tom Brady roast, but she can't do that in the show. So should we watch? Let's see how Nikki Glaser did. Actually, guys, I have to take a quick break. It's 2:08. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. We're going to come back. We're going to get into the Golden Globes thing. I'm sorry, I just heard the damn thing. I got to go handle this, okay? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just give me like a minute. We'll come back. We're going to go through the whole Golden Globes thing. We're going to talk about... I'll say that. Shit. Okay. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Give me a break. Be right back. All right. Sorry about that. Here we go. And we're back. There we go. Oh my God, I banged the back. Oh my, I hit the camera. I got to get both of my little soldiers perfectly in there. Peter says Nikki Glaser was the main reason that he watched last night. And I got to be honest, me too. I mean, I don't watch award shows anymore. The Golden Globes were on last night. It snuck up on me. The only reason that I knew that was on, somebody had tweeted something, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I should check that out, because I was interested in what I just described to you about Nikki Glaser and where she is in her career. She is a woman in her mid 30s, maybe closing in on late 30s. She has dedicated, her youth to trying to, climb the comedy ladder in an era where, I mean, women comics, it's a good era for women comics. It really is. They're more viable. There's more of them. I'm not gonna say better, because that's patronizing. I think there's always been funny women. I've never been one of these people who's like, women can't be funny. It was just about opportunity. So she is in that group. She's very pretty. Nikki Glaser has that additional thing working for her, that she is a hot blonde, who is also funny, which, I mean, I don't know. Let's watch her performance, okay? And I'll stop it and I'll chime in, but this was her, Nikki Glaser, last night, the Golden Globes. Remember? Can she roast? Can she roast like Ricky Gervais? I don't think so. She doesn't have Ricky Gervais's FU money. She didn't create The Office. She is an aging, and I say aging because it's Hollywood and she's a blonde and she's in her mid to late 30s. Maybe even 40s. I don't know. I might be giving her credit. She looks great. She's not Ricky Gervais. She's got to be careful about who she destroys in this moment. And can she do that and still be funny? Let's see. All right, hold on. Let me pull this up for you. Yep, there we go. Okay, Nikki Glaser hosting the Golden Globes last night.
Good evening, and welcome to the 82nd Golden Globes, Ozempic's biggest night. If you're watching on CBS, hello. If you're watching on Paramount Plus, you have 6 days left to cancel your free trial. I'm Nikki Glaser, and I am absolutely thrilled to be your host tonight. Thank you. And I gotta say, this feels like I finally made it. I'm in a room full of producers at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, and this time, all of my clothes are on. So, yeah. It was worth it. Now,
all right, hold on. Wait a second. I just want to say something here. Let me interrupt for a second, just because this is the kind of thing that bugs me. Especially since this occurred simultaneously with the news of Joy Taylor and FS1 and her willingly sleeping her way into all of these things. This happened simultaneously. I'm watching the Golden Globes and I'm reading, this, and then the other TV, I'm watching the Lions and the Vikings. I couldn't bring myself to really enjoy the Lions and the Vikings. Being an NFC North guy, I'm like, ugh. Anyway, so I just thought that was interesting. We're all laughing about it. Hollywood is a place where pretty women are forced to perform sexual favors for men in order. We're all laughing about it right now. But also, it's the worst thing that happens to women, and that we must be very serious about this. It's not something we joke. See what I mean? We have all always known that there was a casting couch in Hollywood. We openly talked about it. And then all of a sudden, #MeToo. It's a serious thing now. Fuck all those women who had to do stuff in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s and the 60s when we made jokes about it on The Tonight Show. But it's these women. It's Alyssa Milano. And let's stop being so selective with our outrage, right? Anyway, let's continue on with Nikki Glaser. See if she makes more. Well, I'll keep that to myself. Never mind.
now, some of you may know me as a stand-up comedian and from my appearances on Roast, but I am not here to roast you tonight. I want you to know that. And How could I, really? You're all so famous, so talented, so powerful. I mean, you could really do anything. I mean, except tell the country who to vote for, but it's okay. You'll get them next time.
Joke! Great
if there is one.
joke! Money
I'm
joke!
scared. Ariana, hold my finger. Thank you. Thank you. Well, tonight we celebrate the best of film and hold space for television. Yes. Wicked, queer, night bitch. These are not just words Ben Affleck yells after he orgasms. These are some of the incredible movies nominated tonight. The Bear, The Penguin, Baby Reindeer. These are not just things found in RFK's freezer. These are TV shows nominated tonight. And what a night. I look out and I see some of the hardest working actors in show business. And by that I mean your servers. Yes. Yes, give it up. They'll be bringing you your cocktails to drink and your food that you'll look at. But I also see some absolute...
Can I just say, I just want to mention, that is a great joke. That was a great joke. I look out in this audience tonight and I see some of the hardest working actors in Hollywood. Of course, I'm talking about your servers. That's a great joke. Good for her.
Hollywood legends. I mean, we have got some huge movie stars here tonight. Kate Winslet is here, Kate Blanchett, Colin Farrell. And let's not forget so many huge TV stars as well. Kate Winslet, Kate Blanchett, Colin Farrell. I mean, even Oscar-winning actor Eddie Redmayne did TV this year. He's nominated for Peacock's The Day of the Jackal. Yes? Yes. It's about a top secret elite sniper that no one can find because he's on Peacock.
Ah! Great joke!
I think I've seen more actual peacocks in my life than shows on Peacock. But Denzel Washington is here for Gladiator 2. Cynthia Erivo is here for Wicked. And Martin Short is here because we have cameras. I love you. Zendaya is here. Zendaya, you were incredible in Dune. Oh my God, I woke up for all of your scenes. You were so good.
Bad haircut. I don't know what Zendaya is doing with her hair. It's a bad haircut, Zendaya.
And Challengers Girl, oh my God, it was so good. I mean, that movie was more sexually charged than Diddy's credit card. I mean, seriously. Oh, no, I know, I'm sorry. I'm upset too. The after party's not gonna be as good this year, but we have to move on. I know it, Stanley Tucci Freak Off just doesn't have the same ring to it, but no baby oil this year, just lots of olive oil, okay?
Because he's an Italian food travel
Tilda
host.
Swinton is here. Tilda Swinton. Amazing. Tilda Swinton is, of course, nominated this year for her role as Timothy Chalamet. You're amazing. Where is Timothy Chalamet? Timothy, hi, Timothy. You were great as Timothy Chalamet this year, too.
All right, so I wanted to pause it here. Is this a Kardashian? Isn't this like a Jenner Kardashian? Isn't it? Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm looking at this too. I'm seeing that's a pretty great fitting dress, I got to admit. But isn't she like 30 now too, right? I mean, the older I get, like there was a time when I wasn't allowed to look at Bruce Jenner's daughters and be like, they're hot, but now I can do that, right? It's okay. She's like 30. Anyway, she looks great. Oh my God. All right, back to Chalamet.
Really, and I love you. And can I just say, you have the most gorgeous eyelashes on your upper lip. I think this is just such a good look.
Good joke.
I love you. Dude, you were so good in A Complete Unknown as Bob Dylan. Wasn't he just incredible? So good, dude. Seriously. In fact, I actually read that your singing voice was so accurate that even Bob Dylan himself admitted that it was absolutely horrible. You nailed it.
God, that's a great fitting dress. I'm sorry. I'm sure she's got the absolute best dress tailors and all that to her frame. And that's, it's just, you want to talk about walking right up to the line of wardrobe malfunction, but then going, nope, it's designed that way. Oh, what a great looking.
And Timothy, you're just so great at playing these like beloved eccentrics. Dylan, Willy Wonka. Who's next? Adam Sandler? Please. Actually, your name sounds like something Adam Sandler would say. Salome. Timothy and Salome. Oh, yes, Timothy Chalamet. I think Sandler's here. Sandler, can I get a Chalamet?
Chalamet.
Oh, Chalamet. A good
There you
Chalamet
go.
to you, sir.
He played along. And
A
a bit more.
Chalamet to you. Yes, Sandler.
That whole bit. I mean, it started off with Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swinton's nominated for playing Timothy Chalamet. And then she had this Chalamet name bit that didn't really have a payoff, but Adam Sandler paid it off. That's how comedy works. Because it was kind of dumb with her just going, Chalamet, until he did it. And then I was like, yay! Yay! We remember when he did that stuff.
I love you. Well, we can't talk about movies tonight without talking about Wicked. And I did not know much about Wicked going into this year because I had friends in high school, but I loved it. I loved it so much.
She's terrific. Okay, I'm not gonna bury the lead anymore. My whole point on this is that she is terrific, and this was her coming out party, and she found that lane. She found the lane where she could still be really biting with well-written jokes like on the Tom Brady roast without being so offensive and so, she's not going to have anybody blacklist her in Hollywood. She did a great job, and don't ever discount this. She looks great doing it. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. Are you telling me that now Hollywood has this beautiful blonde that they can trot out and she's going to not just read cue cards, but she's got a personality and can sell the show and can move it along? This is only the monologue. She did an incredible job of moving this show along. She had her little interjections, 90 minutes into the Golden Globes where it's her just standing there. Her little things, they weren't intrusive. They weren't overly wrought. She wasn't looking for the joke. They were quick. They were in and out. She did a thing about mentions that I thought was really funny. So we're 2 hours into the show and she's standing there in the middle of the hall and she goes, okay, it's time to check the scoreboard. Let's see who's getting thanked the most. And she goes, cast and crew, they're leading with 11 mentions. Mom has 2 mentions. God, 0 mentions. which I thought was really funny. She was great. She crushed it. And, whatever her rate was, because in Hollywood, that's how these people judge each other, by what's known as your rate. Your rate is your day rate. Your rate is what it costs just to talk to you. Her rate skyrocketed after last night. Nikki Glaser is now a legit top-tier Hollywood personality. Whereas before this, she was just a really talented club comedian. Good for her. Let's continue.
Everyone loved Wicked. I loved Wicked. My boyfriend loved Wicked. My boyfriend's boyfriend really loved Wicked. So much fun.
Okay. I want to replay that because I stepped on that, but that is one of my favorite jokes. I loved Wicked. Well, actually, she has 2 really good Wicked jokes. I'm going to let her do it. It's the one about high school, and then it's about that. All right, let's replay this. This Wicked material is brilliant.
You, sir. A Chalamet to you. Yes, Taylor, I love you. Well, we can't talk about movies tonight without talking about Wicked. And I did not know much about Wicked going into this year because I had friends in high school, but I loved it.
Great.
I loved it so much. Everyone loved Wicked. I loved Wicked. My boyfriend loved Wicked. My boyfriend's boyfriend really loved Wicked.
That's brilliant. She's great. It's a movie for chicks and gay dudes, and she's very funny.
So much fun. It's just like, it's so much fun seeing a musical in the theater. And, some theaters had issues with the musicals. At Wicked, some people complained that the movie was ruined by people singing, And then at Joker 2, some people complained that the movie was ruined by the images on the screen and the sounds that accompanied them. But I'm sorry, Joker 2. Where's their table? Oh, they're not here. That's right. Well, the legendary Harrison Ford is here tonight. I was actually talking to Harrison backstage, and after he gave me his drink order, I asked him, I said, would you rather work with Zendaya or Ariana? And he said indica. So we're going to find him some so he has a good time tonight. We want you to have fun. Nicole Kidman is here. Oh my gosh. Nominated for Baby Girl. You're so good. I love that movie. I give it 2 fingers up. It's so good. This is your 20th Golden Globe nomination. I mean, incredible. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. Thank you. Thank you for working so hard. And thank you to Keith Urban for playing guitar around the house so much that she wants to leave and make 18 movies a year. Keep strumming, you kooky koala. Oh, who else is here? Oh, look, it's 2-time Holocaust survivor Adrian Brody.
All right.
Who else? Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell, what a year you've had. Oh my God. Glenn, you were in everything. Twisters, Hitman, My Head When I'm Having Sex with My Boyfriend. Thank you so much for the assist. I'll see you tonight, but Selena Gomez is here. Double nominee tonight for Amelia Perez and Only Murders. And she's here tonight with her new fiance, Benny Blanco. Yes. And Benny Blanco is here because of the genie who granted him that wish. Man, lucky guy.
That's a great joke.
I love you. No, Selena, you were so good in Amelia Perez. I loved it so much. Amelia Perez, yes. Amelia Perez earned 10 nominations for Netflix, and I loved it. I think it is, without a doubt, the most audacious, groundbreaking film to ever autoplay after Is It Cake? Seriously. So good. I'm so excited to be here, and I really think this is like gonna be a very memorable evening, and maybe not even in the way that you think. I predict 5 years from now, when you're watching old clips of this show on YouTube, you'll see someone in one of the crowd shots and you'll go, oh my God, that was before they caught that guy. Like, we could be making history tonight and like, we don't even know with who. Like, he knows, but, or she. It could be a woman, I think 100% of the time it's a man, but it could be a woman. It won't be. It never is. Kind of like Best Director. All right. Well, before we start handing out awards, I do want to remind you, if you do lose tonight, please just keep in mind that the point of making art is not to win an award. The point of making art is to start a tequila brand so popular that you never have to make art again.
Not a strong finisher, but altogether, she was great. Nikki Glaser last night. I don't know much about her background or anything. I've never met her. I don't know anybody who knows her. I've never really, but she is a star now. She was given a crack at it, and she was given a very difficult task of everyone's like, oh, if you think Ricky Gervais was rough, you wait till Nikki Glaser gets in there. And I'm like, man, I don't think so. Nikki Glaser ain't going to go that hard. Again, she ain't got Ricky Gervais money. She's trying to, establish a career. So great opportunity for her. It was hard. I thought she's got to thread this needle, and I thought she did. I thought she did a great job. A couple other moments. that I won't bore you with, but you can find these things. Demi Moore was amazing. I ain't no gay dude or anything like that, but Demi Moore was amazing. I felt like a gay dude when she walked out. I was like, yay, Demi's back. Yay. But I used to think she was super hot. Like, I was like really big into Demi Moore. And then she disappeared for a bunch of years, and now she's back in a big ass way. As I said, she's on Landman, which is like the most talked about new television series on Amazon Prime. Billy Bob Thornton, Landman, John Hamm, Demi Moore. It's great. And now she's got this movie, The Substance, which, I mean, it's her and Margaret Qualley. I guess it's about some sort of substance that a female actress takes, and it makes her young again. Except I don't know what the deal is. All I know is that I'm very intrigued that I want to see The Substance now. Demi Moore won for Best Actress in a drama. This is incredible for her. Somebody who was such an iconic actress. She was the first actress in the history of Hollywood to get paid $20 million for a film. She was big for about 10 years in the 1990s. And then she never had her career. She got older, and she never got, she was no longer hot. She could no longer be stripper or showgirl or G.I. Jane or whatever. So she's got this new movie with Margaret Qualley, who, by the way, is so fun to see this. Here's a little Easter egg nugget. Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley came out last night. Margaret Qualley is a young actress. She's been in a bunch of things. I first noticed her in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She played the Charles Manson girl that tried to seduce Brad Pitt's character. Anyway, I was smitten by her. I thought, this girl's got a little X factor. She's got a little something that pops on screen. I don't know who she is. So I learned a little bit about Margaret Qualley. And then, so I see her and Demi Moore, and they play the same person in this movie, Substance, the younger version and the older version and whatever. I don't know. I don't see the movie, but if you'd seen the movie, I guess the bit that they did as presenters was based on knowing the premise of the movie. I didn't know the premise of the movie. Anyway, so they seemed like they had incredible chemistry together. Like, not only did they play the same person, she was the younger version of Demi Moore. Demi Moore was the older version of Margaret Qualley. Not only were they playing the same person in this movie, but there was a closeness. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then I realized, I went, oh my God, well, Demi Moore was in a movie with Margaret Qualley's mother. Margaret Qualley's mother is Andie MacDowell. The actress Andie MacDowell they were in St. Elmo's Fire together. I'm like, how cute is this? I go, I bet you this Margaret Qualley has known Demi Moore her whole life. So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. Demi Moore was great when she won. And I go Google it. Just go Google it. I won't play it for you here. Her speech, Demi Moore's speech, was absolutely everything that you wanted Demi Moore to say when she got up there. It was inspiring. It was like, you people counted me out, and everybody counted me out, and I was very depressed. And it was a great speech. Demi Moore. It was Demi Moore's night. It was Nikki Glaser and Demi Moore's night. What else What else? Seth Rogen and Catherine O'Hara presenting. That was a stroke of genius. Whoever decided they're going to get these two kooky Canadians together and have them just improv with each other for a couple of minutes on stage. They were great. They were funny together. Catherine O'Hara and Seth Rogen were good. And the other thing, and this needs to be pointed out, and I need to go on record as saying this because for some reason, I think that a lot of people don't think that this person is what I'm about to tell you they are. Melissa McCarthy is hysterical. Melissa McCarthy as just a funny entity is hysterical. Melissa McCarthy has moved into the category for me of anytime she comes on screen, I start to giggle because I know there's some insanity about to come from her. She is so funny. What was she doing? She did something recently that made me laugh. And she was on the Golden Globe. She was great last night. Was she on Saturday Night Live recently? Was she doing something where she was playing a Trump supporter who was rubbing her boobs? I don't know. There was something really fun. She is over the top, man. She is a female Farley. She is just hysterical. Anyway, she was great. I thought she was great last night. Melissa McCarthy was very funny. Remember her Sean Spicer, man? That shit was bonkers. Remember when she used to play Sean Spicer on Saturday Night Live? She's a funny chick, man. Melissa McCarthy is funny. All right, that's going to do it for the Golden Globes coverage, other than I can tell you this. All right, let me go through a couple of the winners. Let's go through the Brutalist. Apparently, The Brutalist is the movie to beat. The Bob Dylan movie that everybody thought was going to be the big one to beat, that got beat by The Brutalist. Don't know what The Brutalist is about. Won a whole bunch of stuff. Amelia Perez, I ain't seeing this. Look, okay, give it all the awards you want. I'm a middle-aged white guy. I ain't seeing Amelia Perez. I gotta see the Bob Dylan movie, but it didn't win anything. Kieran Culkin won for something, The Angry Place. Like, I could probably do better. Here, let me just go down the list. There's got to be a list, right? Let's see here. All right. So, best motion picture, musical, or comedy. Amelia Perez, I guess. I don't know what it is. Let's see here. Best motion picture drama, that's The Brutalist. Okay, so I guess I got to see this Brutalist. It beat Dune Part 2. It beat A Complete Unknown. It beat Conclave, which is another movie that I want to see, which is a really dark movie about how we elect our popes. And by we, I mean us Catholics and lapsed Catholics. Nobody cares about animated film. Cinematic and box office achievement. I like this. This is something that they do at the Golden Globes, where they just award big popcorn movies. You know, like if Fast and the Furious is ever going to win something, it's going to win in the cinematic and box office achievement category. The winner was Wicked. Other films, just to give you an idea of the films that are nominated. Alien, Romulus, Beetlejuice, Deadpool and Wolverine, Gladiator 2, Inside Out 2, Twisters. Twisters was very good. Did you guys see Twisters? And The Wild Robot. The winner was Wicked. Don't care about non-English speaking. Best film. Best performance by a female actor in a motion picture drama went to Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. I don't know, would she play like Bob Dylan's mom or something? Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture drama. I went to Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. Bunch of you women out there acting like Adrian Brody's hot too. I don't get it. I mean, like, he's thin. He's got a good build. That face is jacked. Okay, moving on. Best performance by a female actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. This is where we got Demi Moore for The Substance. Apparently going to have to watch Substance. Amy Adams was also nominated for Night Bitch. This is the movie where a mom thinks she's turning into a dog. I got about an hour into Night Bitch. In about an hour into it, all my questions were answered. I was like, I don't need questions. I don't need to see how this turns out. It was weird. Amy Adams is incredible. Talk about a fearless actress. Talk about an actress that is willing to do. It's about a woman who thinks she's turning into a dog. Amy Adams was great. Too weird though. Just too weird. And you know what? We got an opportunity to have this like historic Hollywood moment by giving this, redemption moment to Demi Moore. Let's go that. Let's do that. Let's not give Amy Adams something else. Amy Adams got a bunch of trophies. Demi doesn't have any. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Sebastian Stan for A Different Man. I don't know what that is. I don't know what A Different Man is. I know that Sebastian Stan is incredible. They couldn't give him the trophy. He was also nominated for Trump in the other category, actor in a drama. They couldn't give it to him for Trump because this was they didn't want to do politics. God bless them. It was an enjoyable show because of that. But they gave Sebastian Stan an award this year, and I think they gave it for the other movie. It's I think they gave it to him for the Trump, but they didn't want that. So Sebastian Stan wins for A Different Man, a movie I've never heard of. Best performance by a female actor in a supporting role, that went to Zoe Saldana. A bit of a redemption story for her. She's been chugging along. She's been in like do you know that no female has been in more box office hits than Zoe Saldana. Zoe Saldana is in 5 of the 7 biggest films of all time. Now, a lot of this has to do with the fact that she's in Avatar and the Avengers, so there's a lot of Avengers Endgame, but still pretty good achievement. They're giving her an award for acting. Everybody has seen Zoe Saldana. She's a very visible actress, and she won for her acting finally. She doesn't have to be blue and she blue in Guardians of the Galaxy. She's blue, right? She's blue and she got little horns. Best performance by a male actor in a supporting role went to my guy, Kieran Culkin, who gave the best speech of the night. Kieran Culkin, if you don't love Kieran Culkin, I bet he's an asshole. You don't want to go on a long car ride with Kieran Culkin in the backseat. He might be difficult, but my God, is he entertaining to just watch. Just watch the way he interacts with the world, watch the way he talks to people, watch the way he gives speeches. Kieran Culkin, Macaulay Culkin's little brother, the great Roman Roy from Succession. He didn't win for that. No. He won Best Supporting Actor for a film called A Real Pain, something that I have never heard of. Best Director for a Motion Picture, it went to Brady Corbett for The Brutalist. Best Screenplay in a Motion Picture went to Peter Strawn for Conclave, and that's going to do it. That's all we care about. Oh, no, wait, TV. We got to do TV. Did I miss TV? Yeah, let's get out of the movies. Who cares about, did Trent Reznor win something? Trent Reznor won for, what is this? Best Original Score in a Motion Picture for something called Challengers. Another movie I've never heard of. You know what I think? I think that a lot of really good movies are now just debuting on Netflix and Prime and Hulu. And this is a me thing. Because that's where they're debuting, I discount them in my mind. When I saw The Substance for the first time, or when I saw The Brutalist, I'm like, well, it's a Netflix. I got to stop that. Because nobody's going to movie theaters anymore. And the good movies are debuting directly on these services. I got to fix my head. Best Television Series Drama went to Shogun. Oh my God, it was a big day for Shogun. I haven't seen Shogun. Am I racist because do I have to read it? Is Shogun in English? It doesn't look like it would be. Looks like maybe it's in Japanese. I don't know. I don't want to read a series. I'm lazy like that. All right, Shogun wins for Best Television Show Drama. Best Television Series Musical or Comedy. Now, this is interesting because it's going to go back and forth year after year, I think, for the next couple of years, or as long as one of these stays in production. Hacks, HBO's, or Max, Hacks won for Best Show. It beat The Bear. And like I said, next year, The Bear's going to win. 2 years ago, Hacks won. Last year, The Bear won. This year, Hacks won. Next year, The Bear's going to win. We'll probably slide in another Abbott Elementary in there, too. If Abbott Elementary decides, hey, this is our final season, they'll win that year. I don't know. That's fine. Hacks is good. I like Hacks. I like The Bear, but those are the 2 best shows. And Best Television Series, Limited Series, Anthology, or Motion Picture made for TV. Baby Reindeer. Haven't seen this. Do I need to? Again, gotta be honest. Whenever I stop on Baby Reindeer and I'm like, what is this, Danish? What? I can't. I don't know. For some reason, I think it's in German. Best performance by a female in a television series drama, that went to Anasawa for Shogun. Good for her. Best performance by a male actor in a television series drama, that went to Hiroyuki Sanada for Shogun. Good for him. Best performance by a female actor in a television series, musical or comedy, that went to our national treasure, Jean Smart. Best performance by a male actor in a television series, musical or comedy, that went to Jeremy Allen White for The Bear, of course. I can't wait for him in the Springsteen movie. He's playing Springsteen. I think, look, first of all, as a big Springsteen fan, if you hear there's going to be a movie made about a guy that you really like, you're worried about who they're casting. You're like, ugh. But they cast Jeremy Allen White, and he seems to have that same kind of super chill vibe that Bruce has. So I think this might be good. Jeremy Allen White, he won for The Bear. Best performance by a female actor in a limited series, anthology series, or a motion picture. We honored another great from Hollywood's recent past, Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster won for True Detective. Interesting, Jodie Foster for years stayed away from the Oscars and all these award shows, especially back in the 90s when she was winning all kinds of things, because she was gay. She didn't want the nonsense. And every year they were like, Jodie Foster's going to be outed at the award. Here she is now, lovely woman in her 60s. She's up there. She's happily married for like 30 years to the same woman that was the reason that she couldn't go to the Oscars and shit in the 90s. Got their kids that they raised at the table. It was very nice. It was very nice. And when Jodie Foster, who is an icon and a treasure, Jodie Foster's amazing. A great director. I mean, let's forget about the acting. A great director. And not just the acting, a child star. Jodie Foster started out as just a little kid, stayed normal her whole life. What do you mean? She's lesbian. Well, that's normal. Sorry, you weirdo. She's not. Jodie Foster seems like a very good person. It was nice to see that for her. Jodie Foster won for True Detective. Ain't seen it. Doesn't look like something I'd be into. I think the True Detective series on HBO is wildly overrated. I don't think it's very good at all. I'm sorry. I know. I watch too much TV to lower my standards to just a procedural police thing. And just because it's on HBO, it's like I can't look at it like it's Law and Order, because that's what it is. It's Law and Order. Best performance by a male actor in a limited series, anthology series, or a motion picture that was made for television. Here's one I got to get into, apparently. The great Colin Farrell, who I love, who's great in everything. Colin Farrell won for The Penguin. The Penguin. Everybody's talking about The Penguin. My son's favorite film of all time. Favorite film of all time. And he's not an idiot, right? He's seen a lot of shit. But for my son's generation, my son's favorite film of all time is The Batman. The most recent Batman, the one with Robert Pattinson, is his favorite film of all time. And he'll explain to you why. And I guess it's true. They completely changed the entire universe of the Batman experience. Gone is like the Dark Knight. Gone is all of the Tim Burton. Gone is all of that. And they've sort of reimagined it as almost a Scorsese Mean Streets kind of vibe. And that's what the Batman was. It was more of a detective story rather than a superhero story. And that really connected with my kid. And now there are all of these other things that are spinning off from that universe. The first of which is HBO series, The Penguin, which stars Colin Farrell, which he won for Best Actor, and for which everybody is saying, if you miss The Sopranos, I know it's going to sound crazy, but you got to watch The Penguin. So I'm in. So I'm going to get into season 1 of The Penguin. I hear it's incredible, and I hear it's mind-blowing, and my son loves it. My son is like, no, Dad, seriously, it's better than The Sopranos. I'm like, slow your roll, dude. It's like, first of all, it's not going to be better than The Sopranos, but good for Colin Farrell, because he's a cool-ass actor. And he won. Best performance by a female actor in a supporting role on television. That went to Jessica Gunning for Baby Reindeer. Don't know who she is. Best performance by a male actor in a supporting role went to somebody else. Tadanobu Asano from Shogun. Excuse me. And best performance in stand-up comedy for television, which was interesting. Best performance stand-up comedy. I'm going to read you those nominated. Jamie Foxx for What Had Happened, which was not great. It's not a great comedy. Ali Wong for Single Lady. Nikki Glazer, the host, for Someday You'll Die, which I haven't seen, but I will absolutely see that now. Seth Meyers, which I'm just going to pass on. Adam Sandler's return to stand-up comedy, and Rami Youssef's More Feelings. Rami Youssef. Okay, those are all terrible choices. Well, I shouldn't say they're terrible choices because I've seen Ali Wong. I saw Jamie Foxx. I saw Adam Sandler. I didn't see Rami Youssef. I didn't see Seth Meyers. and I didn't see Nikki Glazer. Where is Mulaney special? Where is Nate Bargatze special? I hate to be so awful. Where is anything that Tim Heidecker did this year? Where is Shane Gillis? Are you kidding me with these comics? These are the Ali Wong. Ali Wong, she's a fine corporate comedian. Corporate, she's real edgy. No, when you get to the deal levels that she's striking with Netflix, you're amazed. I'm talking about the real comedians who are out there doing great stuff. I know Mulaney's really high up there as well. But he's anti-establishment to the point where he's burned a lot of bridges in his career. So maybe he doesn't get this kind of love. But the best comedians were not represented last night, in my opinion. And I know comedy is subjective. All right, that's going to do it. Those are all the Golden Globe choices from yesterday. Peter says, I thought they would give Jamie Foxx the sympathy vote for that category. Yeah, I mean, I could see that, but that was really so recently. I could see how they could, not give it to him. I thought it was a foregone conclusion that Nikki Glazer was going to get it. She's the host. The Golden Globes, I just thought she was going to get it. I did, and they didn't. They gave it to Ali Wong, who is fine. She's just not great. I don't think she's incredible. You come up to me and you're like, hey, Pugs, you want to go see Ali Wong? I got tickets. I'll be like, yeah, I'll go see her. But, I'm not. Excuse me. Drinking water, it's going to kill me. I'm going to drown. Isn't that a thing? That's how I'm going to die. I'm going to die drowning because I'm trying to drink water here in 2025. That's going to do it for today's show. Once again, I still got the Be Right Back thing up. That fucking sucks. You mean I spent all of this time when I could have been asking people in passing to help support the show? We need to make $50 today. I don't think we got any tips today. So whatever. We need to make $50 a day every day this week to get to our $250 goal for the week to get us to continue doing these shows. Help out if you can. There you go. Venmo and Cash App. We'll be back tomorrow at noon with more. Oh, I did an extra hour today. I'm always so desperate during these pledge weeks. All right. Love you guys. We'll talk to you. Bye.